Time's up. Have your own.
Here it comes.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
Little kid ears. When I first heard that, I heard not if you stick a lump of coal up his ass in 2 weeks, you have a diamond. When I heard as a kid, I sounded like in Twix, you'd have a diamond. Like, why are there chocolate bars up his ass? As a little kid, I didn't understand. Little kid ears hear things differently.
That's not even the funniest thing you just said.
What?
When you messed up, you said "come in his ass," and then you started over.
I did?
Yes.
I'm colored. Shut up.
But we're told that we don't like any of this because we're misogynists. We just don't like this stuff because we're women. And the only reason we're unhappy about the Ray movie coming out, because, guys, did you hear the Ray movie was canceled and uncanceled? Did you hear that?
Dre, you heard that too, right?
I did hear it.
Wait,
I did hear it.
What did I do?
You said because we're women.
We hate it because we're women.
Okay. I said it. All right. Yeah, I see. Now Ariel just arrived, and she's going to make sure that I remember that.
Yes, we didn't want it to come out like this, but Adam is in fact trans. He's coming out of the closet. Him and Dermy are in a relationship. It's time.
It's still there. It's still there.
I didn't say that.
Well, you can still have it, but still identify as a woman.
We want to enjoy what we're looking at. We don't want sores and fat whores. Liar! No.
Let me be as clear as I can. Ain't no colors in Scandinavia.
Game over, man. It's game over.
We need more clips. I need somebody to start keeping minutes of our stupid shit, because I forget. I've been told I'm forgetting things on other streams. Like, Adam, I want your crazy sexual ahego face when you were being retarded. Like, what? I don't remember doing that. Of course, it's Ariel. Ariel's pointing out my degeneracy when it happens. So I need to keep track of the clips more because I forget them. Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the round table where we're normal. We're fine. Nothing ever strange goes on here. We never say anything outrageous or stilly or, borderline horrible. We never do that. We're good, normal people here. We hope you guys have had a good week. We're here to entertain you this Sunday afternoon. So we're happy to have everybody here. Hi, Jed. How are you? It's a good transition, huh?
A very good transition. So smooth. I didn't even notice it was happening. Yeah. Well, it is great to be here as always. I want to let everybody know about the great discussion that Adam and I had last night on Saturday Night Drive-In. We talked about Lawrence of Arabia, which is just an incredible film. And watching it over the 2 days before that and talking about it last night, it just got me in a good mood. Very positive about cinema right now. Excited to watch other great movies from the past. So definitely recommend everyone go check that out. And if you haven't seen the movie, it is the movie. It is like
it's art.
It defines cinema.
It is cinema. That's perfect. It is cinema. It is art. And we've got for the remainder of this month, while Saturday Night Drive-In rolls out for the rest of August, we've got some good ones for you guys. A lot of fun, a lot of good topics. We were talking about it last night. So I think you guys are going to enjoy the rest of Saturday Night Drive-In until we go on break. Rings of Power Season 2, and This Is Mordor Country, where we really will suffer for your entertainment.
And then we come back with Player's Choice.
Oh, and then yes, Player's Choice, where you, the audience, once a quarter, will get to choose what movie Jed and I watch for Saturday Night Drive-In. Well, it'll be a nice, quick little gathering of information poll. You guys will throw out some ideas, and then we'll make a quick little list, and you guys get to vote. And we can already predict you'll vote on the one that'll make us pull our hair out the most. I guarantee it. It's not going to be, oh, wow, I want to hear their intellectual discussion on the meanings of these themes and what these characters are doing and how these characters evolve in their arcs. No, it's going to be they're watching two gay guys have butt sex. Or something like that. I don't know. I mean, that's what's going to be. That's what's going to be.
Please don't pick like Brokeback Mountain or
Oh
something.
God!
Oh,
Don't put. See, you just put that out there. Now you put it out there, and now it's like I have avoided that movie my entire life.
Me too. I have not seen it.
So now they're just going to make us suffer, Dre. It's going to make us suffer. Dre, you didn't suffer. Well, you did suffer this week. You suffered. You suffered. How you doing?
There'll be suffering in Egypt. I tell you that. There'll be great suffering in Egypt. I had to suffer through Cape Crusader. That was an interesting time.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance to release on that one in a few minutes here. How you doing otherwise?
Other than that, I'm doing okay. Had a decent week. I got some comic work done. This has been a productive week, so I'm very, very happy with the stuff we're getting done. And had some fun Pokemon battles this week that I'll be posting. So this has been a good week. So I'm happy.
I'm supposed to ask you, did you get Dermy's DM?
Yes, I did, and I needed some clarity because
they wanted to know. The whole thing is, does Dre know the meaning of this? Because there's some sort of no. Okay.
I did not know what it meant until I was like, "What the heck does this mean?" And then he told me what it's supposed to mean. I'm like, I got it. I'm like, and then he forgot why he even wanted the video. So I'm going to assume that he was drunk.
No, he isn't. He's not drunk. He's dry. It's dry August for Dermy. He's just retarded.
Okay. So sober Dermy is just as bad.
Because he's actually, his mind is somewhat working and it's jumping around a lot of different topics. So he just forgets shit and he forgets why. Basically, they were talking about Rocky Mountain oysters and other types of things like that, and some sort of thing had a particular word that only you can say.
Yeah, apparently.
And so there was like, I want Dre to do it. Adam, you get Dre to go, do I look like his massa? I can't tell him to do anything. So you ask him. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, because I was confused. I was confused by the term itself because I'd never heard the term before. And I was like, is this some new Gen Z alpha nonsense or something? They told me what it's supposed to mean. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Ball busters, guys. I have no explanation for what goes on there.
But I'll make his video though. I'll make his video. I'll do it.
Yes, and then he will proudly play it over and over and over again, even when it's not relevant, because that's what Derby does. Yeah.
Oh, I'm certain.
So yeah, ball busters. It's horrible, but I have to suffer it anyway. Dragon Lady, hi. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Went to watch Deadpool 3 on Monday. Got finally convinced to see that. Quite enjoyed it.
Good.
I was in London for most of this week anyhow, so there was a massive IMAX cinema there. So I thought, well, might as well watch it in IMAX, and quite enjoyed it in IMAX. I think it's probably the only film I've actually seen in IMAX, because IMAX cinemas are very hard to come by over here in the UK. It's not exactly a widespread thing over here. So, it's London. It's London. There's got to be an IMAX somewhere.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, your thoughts essentially, since you missed it. I mean, just dumb fun for you, like the rest of us.
Yeah, it was just dumb fun. Enjoyed a lot of the cameos in the film.
You love the Fox universe of stuff, so I'm sure you.
Yeah, I like the Fox universe. So the fact that Disney wants to stick the middle finger up at that, well, I'm glad Ryan Reynolds decided to turn around and stick the middle finger back up at them during that film. So
it's a lot of dumb fun, and we will talk some Deadpool Wolverine just because we have to report on its juggernaut. It's juggernaut money making. And because we got to talk about that, it leads to other things. We will be talking about how once again Disney is doomed, and it's got multiple layers to me saying that, multiple layers. But otherwise, we are gonna talk a little Batman DEI, because Dre watched it for our pleasure. Then we have what is essentially Well, I think we're witnessing the collapse of Ubisoft at this point. I really think we are.
Thank God.
I mean, they are melting down on two fronts. There's the Assassin's Creed Shadows stuff, which is just it's a nightmare. Everything they do, something's wrong. And now, and I will get into a little bit more now, according to reports, those in Japan who are angry are going to Square Enix, who is a distributor for the game in Japan. They're going to them to complain. And considering Square Enix really wants to keep their nose clean right now on a lot of stuff as they restructure and get back to being a better company, I don't think they're going to want they might not want the hassle, so that could be interesting. But at the same time, the gift that keeps on giving, Star Wars Outlaws. All the glorious game footage we've gotten this week. It's a disaster. It is a broken game. And I got a couple special clips. I got a bunch of clips. One of them I'm really going to watch, which I showed on a video this week. It's so bad, but it's glorious. And at least the fact that, at least the whole thing that Disney is doomed. This is not going to save Star Wars. The MCU is in trouble. There's no saving it. I really don't. But we'll get into that. But so first and foremost, hail and howdy to the chat. Hail the goddess and algorithm the strong. My mods here to keep the peace and troll me when necessary. Going on down the list. Who else is here? Hail Masquerade. How are you? Hail to you, Ruben X. Hail True Soul. And yes, CGI dragons are nice, but not at the expense of good writing. House of the Dragon. Big finale tonight. I am personally going to be glad to be done with it. I'm going to be glad. I have not really enjoyed this. My experience these 2 seasons. I have not really enjoyed it. I'll get into that tomorrow probably. Hail Jay Fraser 360. How are you? Hail Clifton. Hi Clifton. No. You see, look, you put it out there. Here comes Brokeback Mountain. Here it comes. It's going to happen now. Clifton's going to lead that charge.
Well, at least what's her bucket? Anne Hathaway shows her tits in the movies, right? That's what I've heard. So that's a saving grace.
Anne Hathaway's not in that movie, is she?
Yeah.
In Brokeback Mountain?
Yeah, she's the beard.
Really?
There's some. I'm pretty sure it's Anne Hathaway.
I thought it was.
I'm sorry, there's
ex-wife.
in Brokeback Mountain.
I know there's.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway was in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, that's still not enough.
I know, but it's a small saving grace, is what I'm saying. There's a few seconds we won't hate the film or be
and hate myself. But yes, it's gonna happen out there anyway. And hey, how did everybody else in the chat? Might be not chatting, just watching. We're happy to have you here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Links in the description below. I can speak if I try. And let's get on with the show. Okay. It was Dre's turn to watch something that the rest of us didn't have to. It was Dre's turn. He's up. And I'm just going to put this up here because it kind of symbolizes everything of Batman Cape Crusader. Oswald the Cobblepot, who, from what I understand, everybody in this show is thirsty for her.
Wait, I need to ask this question because it's 2024. Is this actually a female Oswald or is this a trans female?
Yes. It's literally a female Oswald Cobblepot. It's not Oswald that cut his penis off. It was actually
voiced
Oswald
by Minnie Driver, apparently.
Yeah. This is such a wasted opportunity. A lot of the villains were wasted opportunities. Let me just put that out there. This one was just a poster child of it because of the sex change and whatever. But the villain just really didn't do it for me in this show. Oswalda was a joke until she wasn't. That was weird. What they did with Two-Face, I did not like at all. I really hated what they did with Harvey Dent. I hated what they did with Harvey Dent. It made me legitimately upset. Because they made him out to be a bad egg from the beginning, and
doesn't make sense.
not like dueling personalities. Like I had to go after I watched it, I had to go and get myself a nice little palate cleanser. Had to pop in the good old DVD of Batman the Animated Series,
Big Hard,
and watched it. Big Bad Hard. That's like good stuff. I said, this is how you do it right. This is how you do dual personality correctly. And it was done so beautifully 30 years ago. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at this garbage. It was legitimately upsetting. Like a couple things they got right. Like I like the Golden Age Catwoman that they did. I thought that was really good. The noir setting was good. The action sequences were very decent. They really pulled from the Golden Age when murder mysteries were like the rage and really focused on that. So that like the atmosphere was good, but it's just character work, development. The villains were just no good, and all the whammon girl boss nonsense.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I was going to ask you next. I've heard that essentially it's all about the ladies, and Batman's kind of a side character in his own show.
yeah, it gets really weird. There's literally a scene which really bothered me that like it's Barbara Gordon, Renee Montoya, and Harley Quinn are at a diner and they're just sitting there talking about their feelings for like 10 minutes. I almost threw out my computer. I almost threw my computer through the window because it's all about Harley trying to hit on Montoya. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing
Asian
right
Harley
now?
too. It's fat Asian Harley too, huh?
Yeah, fat Asian Harley who's trying to be Dexter, and I'm just like, what? Let me be specific. Not Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter, serial killer.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what I thought you were saying.
Okay, just in case, because just in case everybody understands. But
some of us are old men.
Yeah, some of us are old.
I never watched Dexter's Laboratory, but I love Dexter, the serial killer show.
Yeah, and so they make her into Dexter. So basically, the people that she's treating, she looks at them as bad people, and then tortures them. So I'm like,
That doesn't
you're
sound
torturing
right.
them because they come to you for help. I'm like, what are we doing? And they try to justify as like she's some type of vigilante-esque ordeal, so she's not bad. I'm like, yo, what the devil am I watching? And that joke was so egregious because I like the original Harley Quinn. I really do. I like the original OG Harley Quinn from the 90s. I thought she was fun. And I thought it would be a cool little foil and a little Joker sidekick for what she was. What she was fun. This was not fun. And of course, there was no Joker at all because she don't need no man. So like all this stuff and like it's not good. And but I tried my best to be objective as I could when I was reviewing this. But ultimately, and then there was some lunatic who was saying, "Oh, this is just as good as the anime series." I'm like,
No.
Well, first of all, what year were you born? First and foremost. Secondly, what the heck are you talking about? Did you watch the original show? To say that this even holds a candle to it is insulting. And the fact is, yes, does Bruce Timm have his fingers on it, and you can see where he had his influence? Yes, and those are things that really shine pretty well. The noir style. Batman's portrayal is decent, but of course, no one's Kevin Conroy, so that's always going to be something that's going to come up. It's reality. It's always going to come up. He's what was that? Hamish Leonard? I think this is the new guy.
I don't know.
It's never going to be, and he does a fine job, but it's just the reality. It just can't be. It just can't be helped. But ultimately, this joke does not. I don't want to see a second season of this. I don't want to see.
It's not getting a second season. It can't because
it can't.
Let's remember how this came about. This is the spawn of Jar Jar Abrams.
Oh yeah,
he spawned this. This is like I think the only thing to come out of the $500 million he stole from Warner Brothers.
Oh, he stole it.
He stole it. And you mentioned Bruce Timm. Yes, Bruce Timm's involved, but Bruce Timm without Paul Dini isn't. It's not
the same.
Bruce Timm he's the style, he's the art, he's the pretty. But
yeah.
Paul Dini, he's the meat.
Yes,
he's
I agree.
So
to put it in Batman terms, I think it's another Bill Finger Bob Kane. Essentially, it's literally the same thing, just decades later. Like you need them two together, but one gets all the credit. Yeah. So it's like. It's like poetry, so it rhymes. So it's very strange. But this was a very, very odd show to watch. and I won't even say I was disappointed because I know what year it is, and I know that everything is going to get current date in some way, shape,
They
and
said it was
form.
going to be like this. They announced it prior to coming out. They said, "Oh, it's going to be woke." They said,
And
that.
they weren't kidding.
Yeah,
They weren't kidding. Now, it wasn't as egregious as other things. It wasn't like trying to beat you across the head with messaging, even though the setting is supposed to be in between the 30s and 40s. There wasn't no scissoring going on publicly. All right, that
and
was not a
Black
thing.
Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I don't know what
Black
that's
Barbara
about.
Gordon.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
black commissioner. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I get that you're trying to have revisionist history and it's fun to fantasize. I get that, but if you're gonna do something that's supposed to be a period piece, let it be represented properly. And because, like, once again, the '90s one was so freaking good because you couldn't tell if it was in the future or in the past. They had futuristic technology, but at the same time, they're driving 1930s cars,
and they got freaking dirigibles in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Like it found a way to perfectly blend it so you can have at the time modern looking people. Like to this day, I still think Harvey Dent was black in the original '90s show. I'm convinced that was a black dude. I'm convinced that Harvey Dent was black, and like even throughout the entire era, like it blended it so well and so perfectly that you didn't even notice or care. But as we have been for the last few years, so obsessed with this gender ideology, scissoring, we're so obsessed with this nonsense that it's just taking over everything, and it's just unpleasant to watch. And Barbara Gordon is somehow a martial arts master without any training. It's weird. Like it's all weird, and it was the potential was there. But they just completely dropped the ball. It's rough.
At least it didn't end up being what they teased before, a prequel to TAS. When one of the original things thought they were saying, "Oh, it's happening before this. It's him early on in his career," and everybody, no, please no. At least that didn't happen. This is just its own little continuity, which you can say, okay, whoop, you can go over there and stay in the garbage where you belong.
Yeah, yeah. And so for that, I am thankful that it does not take the time to besmirch the original. So I can appreciate that it just was its own thing, and we can throw it in the garbage and move on with our day. And it won't have to be something like, "Ooh, remember when Batman fought Man-Bat in season 1? Well, looks like there was actually a previous Batman that was a woman, and the Man-Bat was actually a woman Bat." Like I don't have to sit there and do any of that crap. I can just take this, process it, throw it away, and then pop my DVDs in and move on.
What was the Robin situation in this?
Oh God, I put that out of my mind. Oh God. Okay. So what they did an episode about a carnival, and there was an orphanage that had that was next to the carnival and was being kidnapped. The kids were being kidnapped by energy vampire, and each of the kids was a different Robin. So the first one that was kidnapped was Dick Grayson. The next one was Tim Drake. Then they had Stephanie Brown, and then they had Carrie Kelly. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to hang myself from the rafters. I do not know what is going on here.
No.
What are we doing? What are we doing? I sat there for a second because check this out. They kept like the face of Dick Grayson. They kind of kept it from the original cartoon. When they have the episode when he's with the Flying Grayson before they died, they literally had the face. They kind of like, I was like, hey, that looks just like Dick Grayson. Then I was like, oh, we're looking for Dickie. I'm like, oh. I'm going to throw myself out the window. I'm like, this is not happening. And then the next one was like, oh well, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Tim Drake. They used Jason. They used Jason Todd. Excuse me. They used Jason Todd. That he was the other orphan. It was Jason. And it was like, oh, where's Jason? I'm like, they're really doing this crap. Like they're really doing this. And then it got Stephanie Brown, and then the last one was Carrie Kelly, and had the audacity to actually give her slingshot. I was done. I'm like, just Just stop this.
Well,
It's bad.
It's fake fan service, is what it is.
Oh.
It's fake fan service. It's like they think they're being clever, but in fact they're being insulting.
Yeah,
And I mean, Bruce Timm should know better. He should.
he should. Oh, without
He should
question,
know better.
he knows better.
But like Jay Fraser pointed up here, he cares more about doing his weird shit now that he doesn't have Paul Dini to hold his leash and say, no,
Fair enough.
no, we're not going to do this. So, I mean,
That's a terrible couple. I've never heard of anyone legitimately trying to do that. That's insane.
Well, they did. They allude. I love Batman Beyond. I think Batman Beyond is great. I originally didn't like it, but then when I rewatched it when I was older, I thought, damn, this is really good. Terry McGinnis does earn the cape and the cowl. But in that, they alluded to at one point that in the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm verse, at some point later on, Bruce and Barbara did have an affair at one point when it was just them, when there was when Dick was off being Nightwing, when and in that version, Tim Drake, he retired early due to the trauma he suffered that we learned in Return of the Joker. And then there was no Jason Todd in the Tim Dini verse. There was no Jason Todd.
Yeah, they skipped Jason.
So for a period of time, it was just Bruce and Barbara, and they alluded to the fact that there was an affair, but it was just an affair. It wasn't serious.
Was it far in the future of the timeline? I know Batman Beyond is
They
pretty far down
didn't
the line.
specify how far in the future, but I can assume that was after Tim Drake,
of the Joker.
Yeah, after Return of the Joker. So everybody is an adult. You know,
they're adults. I mean,
and
it's. I would say it was probably I would say 5 to 10 years after that, probably when it happened.
Okay.
So I'm guessing.
Yeah, but me personally, I didn't like that.
No, nobody does. Nobody does.
I've always looked at Bruce and Barbara as like uncle and aunt type, uncle and niece, type relationship.
Yeah,
I've always looked at it that way. So for me, that's icky. So
it does feel icky to me.
Yeah,
I mean, when you do that, it ruins all kinds of other things. Because we were having this discussion last night about what exactly makes up the entirety of the Bruce Timm Paul Dini verse, and so I mean, Dre, I'll pose this to you do you think the 2000s Teen Titans fits in there? I've always said it is a part of it because there's an episode of Justice League where they use the Speedy design that showed up in that. And they allude to and it's like, oh, he looks exactly like he did there, just older and slightly modified suit. So I've always thought that does take place in the Bruce Timm Paul Dini verse.
That's actually, I never really gave that any real thought. But when I actually stop and think about it, I would technically include Teen Titans there, even though, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini had nothing to do with it being a creation. But yes, screw it. Yes, I would consider it connected.
They pulled some designs from that in Justice League episodes. I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of links it.
And, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Yeah, I'll put Teen Titans in there.
They don't really clash because everything that happened there would have been before Batman the Animated Series because that's college age Dick in Batman the Animated Series, and it's young Dick in Teen Titans, and he's still high school Dick.
That's a good point.
So
you're having way too much fun saying Dick in a bunch of different ways.
So technically, like I never really gave it any real thought. I think for most of my time, I've considered them separate. But if you wanted to line some things up chronologically, I think they could fit together without breaking any form of canon or story.
Nothing breaks. Nothing breaks.
Yeah.
Because everything that happened
if I wanted to. Sure.
It's contained within Teen Titans. It doesn't affect. Yeah.
I think that can fit. I think
because they took designs from that and used it. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think they want to allude to the fact that we accept this as part of it. Accept it. Yeah.
Sure. I'm willing to put that in there. I never really thought about it that way. I mostly can consider the Timm versus Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Static, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, and then the canon movies. That's usually what I put.
Me too.
In there.
Me too. Yeah.
But I can see Teen Titans still fitting.
It's just because then, because if you want to include everything, because they never brought the rest of the Titans in, it means they didn't include them later on, of course. But you always want to consider when talking about Barbara and Dick, you want to talk about Barbara, Dick, and Starfire.
Yep.
Because who does Dick choose? And yes, I'm saying Dick many times now on purpose. Who does he choose? Honestly, I'm Team Starfire. Go Starfire.
Oh, everybody is.
Team Starfire.
Everybody's Team Starfire. Who doesn't love Starfire?
Yeah. She's so nice.
My orange goddess.
Yes, orange, not black.
Yeah. Oh,
Look what I did. Look what I did. I made the trauma return for a second there.
oh, I pushed that out my mind.
I have no shame. I do not feel bad about that. Anyway, so Batman Cape Crusader, it's a disaster. Anybody who's saying they like it, because there are people saying like it, they're tourists. They're goddamn tourists. They don't have.
It's hard because
right
I got no there's things to enjoy about it, but overall this joint is not great. Even if you don't even compare it to the original, because comparing it to the original technically is not fair because it's one of the greatest animated series of all time. But good lord, but if you're saying that this is actually good, I can't co-sign. I can't co-sign. If you enjoy it, fine, but it is not good.
If they are saying it's better than this,
they're crazy.
Ooh.
They deserve they deserve to be hung upside down until their head explodes. I'll say it. Whatever, fine. But yeah, so Dre watched it for you. You don't have to watch it. It's not going to get.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
There's no money for a second season because
not to mention it was a one-day drop.
Yeah, well, that's a flush. It's a flush.
What platform did it drop on?
Amazon.
They did the full season on Amazon.
Full season.
Well, that's who they had to sell it to because David Zaslav took a look at it and said, "Get the fuck out."
Mm-hmm.
No.
If Amazon's just batch dropping it like that, they had no faith in it.
Yeah.
And that's really saying something from Amazon.
Yep, 10 episodes, one day.
Yeah.
Do you hear they're not moving forward with Henry Cavill's universe, the Warhammer?
They've got 4 months to get it settled. If they don't get it settled by December,
I've heard the whispers that they haven't settled.
That's not right, man. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things, because they take it away from us. They ruin goods, they ruin Batman, and they take everything away from us.
Yeah. Amazon chose Cape Crusader over a Warhammer series from Henry Cavill. I mean, not actually, but it's still like those are the decision makings at this streaming service.
Yeah.
They're screwed.
Well, it's Amazon. It's also Games Workshop is involved in that, and they are strange over there now. They are very weird. They're destroying their own brand. They've been destroying their own brand, turning away their actual original customer base who would willingly buy the plastic crack every couple months. They would do it blindly. Like, oh yes, I need it. Oh yeah, I need that shit. That they would do that, but now they're turning people away because they keep changing the lore. They keep ruining it for everybody. And right now it's basically Jay Fisher brings up now. We have some positive thoughts towards the Highlander. The red flags haven't really been there. They're saying all the right things. I
don't have faith.
Well, yeah, they have to earn it, but the people involved seem to be of quality. You know, the guy who directed John Wick, Cavill is all in on it. I believe he's just been done training for now. I mean, they're shooting. They're getting ready to shoot it right now. So that's gonna happen. So
my dad's a huge fan of the original film, and he's taken one look and said, "This thing's doomed." Even though I'm sitting here thinking, hang on a minute, Henry Cavill speaks English, unlike the last guy.
Here's the thing. And I've had this discussion. We've talked about some Mondays. Highlander is not exactly a stable franchise. It is a goddamn mess. The original movie.
Well, he meant the original film, not
the original film. Is a nice film, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. I have it. I have like a 15th anniversary edition right there, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. The choreography is it's not great. You've got a Frenchman pretending to be a Scotsman. You've got a Scotsman pretending to be an Egyptian. And
I've never seen it, but this sounds wild.
I mean, I if you go into it understanding what it is, it's pure 80s, and it's the soundtrack. It's Queen. It's kind of magic. It's glory. That's glorious, and you understand that the lore is good, but it gets messy. It's just you have to understand what it is. It's a product of the 80s, but it's fun. It's cool classic, but it spawned a complete mess of timelines because there are 4 or 5 different Highlander timelines.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this here because Jed doesn't understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so
I
you
have
got the
no
original,
idea what you're talking
you've got the original movie, and then
Okay.
you had the original sequel called The Quickening, which was an unmitigated nightmare. That movie's a nightmare. It's gloriously bad. It's fun to laugh at, is what it is, because it's complete cheese. It's just, this is ridiculous. They turn them into space aliens, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Then you've got the TV series, which is an offshoot, which is not related to the original movie or the second movie, because it takes place before the events of the original movie, but adds in characters don't exist and changes everything. But it's good. The TV show is fantastic because instead you still have, because Connor McLeod still exists, but now you have another one, Duncan McLeod, played by Adrian Paul. And you have the TV timeline. So it's got 3 different timelines now. Then they came back and made a 4th movie, a 3rd one, with Mario Van Peebles as the villain, who was stuck in a different dimension during the first one. So then he comes in and restarts. That's another timeline. And then they continued the movie timeline with another spin-off series with a really hot chick. And they made another movie where Duncan had to kill Connor to absorb his power to beat a different mortal. And then there's a 5th one. There's a 5th one. They made a horrible movie on Sci-Fi Channel, which was god-awful. It was terrible.
I didn't know there was more than just the movie. I thought there was just the movie.
And then there are cartoons.
Jesus.
There's like 2 different cartoons. So Highlander's a mess. So I have no problem with them trying to restart it because it's a goddamn mess of a franchise. It's a glorious mess, but it's a mess. So if they want to try and do another version of it and make another go at it with multiple books and comics and this and that, have at it. The guy from John Wick, I respect. He knows how to make a movie. Henry Cavill's all in. We know when Cavill gets in on something, he puts his full effort into it if he loves it. And I believe they did secure the rights to use It's a Kind of Magic for the part of the soundtrack. So Queen will have its representation. I believe I remember reading that. So there are no red flags. It may be a bad idea, but there are no red flags as I see it right now. There are none. So we have hope. I just want dumb fun. I want dumb fun. And Henry Cavill, he went back to training for the choreography, so we know Henry Cavill can do choreography. As shitty as The Witcher was, Henry Cavill can do fight choreography and he can do it well. It's just they screwed up when they added CGI bullshit, as Jed well knows. All right, we got other stuff, but I want to take this opportunity right now. I want to take a victory lap because I achieved something this week that I have been reaching for, running after. I've been chasing that dragon.
Oh boy.
2 years. And I caught it. And I caught it in a special way. Because we all know there's a particular Disney shill stan on X Twitter who I held with the most ill regard. Little Timmy Suggs, who spends all his day on the X Twitter posting Disney Star Wars garbage. Now, by now, all the regulars in the chat, for people who may be new here, I'm on X Twitter for basically 2 to 3 things. 1, to promote my stuff, to talk with the people I work with on YouTube. We have our fun. We're able to communicate, send out links, this and that, and to troll fans. Our good friend Grump, who is no longer with us, he said to me, if you're doing this, get in on next Twitter, go in there not to give a shit. Go in there to just post shit and walk away. And I took Grump's advice to heart. I drop a bomb, I drop a grenade, and I walk away. I do not engage. Only time I engage is to drive Gal crazy. I spouted oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookie nonsense for 3 hours on Thursday just to annoy her. And it was just me. It was me being stupid. And I'll shit on Dermy because, hey, you have to. You have to keep that crazy giant retard in check. You have to. But then the rest of the time is I'm looking just to annoy Disney stans, so they block me so I never have to see them again. because once they're out of my mind, I never see them, I forget about it. But little Suggs, he has been one of the worst. He is the most retarded, stupid, fake fan you will ever see. Who, to him, Star Wars only really existed since 2012. He'll pretend that he likes it before he came before him with this. So we got the news this week, which is part of the actual news we're going to talk about today. They announced Skeleton Crew, the next Disney Star Wars TV show, for a release in December 3rd. My mother's birthday. They desecrated my mother's birthday with a premiere of a shitty Disney Star Wars show. Mom, Adam, what are you getting for my birthday? Oh, I'm doing a review of Disney Star Wars today, Mom. So I can't make you a birthday dinner. I have to watch Skeleton Crew. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so they're releasing this shit on my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And of course, this is low-hanging fruit. Oh, I can make a video on this. This is easy. To rep. I went over an article on People Magazine. They go to release it. The reveal is on People Magazine.
Whoa. Back up. So they reveal their, I guess, release date and all that stuff in People Magazine.
Yeah, their first real release of information. An interview with Jude Law and the director with People Magazine. That was their big drop. That was their go-to publication. People Magazine. Yeah. That Disney Star Wars. Hey, they know who their fan base is. Anyway, so they did that. I jumped on it, made my video, put it out. And of course, I can't show you anymore for reasons that'll become clear in a minute, but little old Suggsy decided to quote tweet me. Now, I had been taking, I go in spurts on this stuff. I go in spurts with what I do on the Twitter. And I decided to see who was quote tweeting me. Normally I don't, but little voice said, Adam, somebody just quote tweeted you. Take a look, see who quote tweeted you. It was Suggsy. Calling me, this is what you get when the worst fans in the fandom start talking about Star Wars. I'm like, oh, you freaking coward. You freaking coward. Won't even talk to me directly. Will pretend I'm not there. Quote tweet me, even though I quote tweet all the time, but I do it as a troll and walk away. And so what I did was I replied immediately, and I went at him. He's trying to run the argument. Are you unhappy that they're making it for children, which is what George always intended? They're rolling out that stupid shit. And of course, it's very easy to say, yeah, George wanted made for children. He says that, but then he'll have Rise of Skywalker where children are dying and limbs are getting, Revenge of the Sith, where children are dying and younglings are dead and people are getting chopped in half and arms everywhere. Yeah. George made it just for kids originally. Sure, whatever. We can go back to the original trilogy. Arms are getting cut off in episode 1. It's for kids, everybody. Oh, look at the Acolyte. Where they're all thirsty for a dude showing his wang standing on the edge of the wang pool. Yeah, it's for kids. It's for kids. George made it for kids. Disney keeps making it for kids. So I could have gone off on that, but I just did a quick little thing because I don't have the blue check mark. I got to be pithy. So I went at him, this and that. And then some of the other stands started chiming in. Oh my God, this piece of shit Adam, he's finally engaging. And I had a revelation about what they think engagement is and conversations are. They think conversations are things you actually have on Twitter. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, so then I got annoyed. And once I got triggered, I got annoyed. I'm like, I'm going to entertain myself. I said to Gal and everybody else, I'm going to stop playing the oatmeal chocolate chip raisin cookie game. We're done with that for now. I got real fish to fry. Dre has no idea what's going on, but it's okay. So I started to turn my attention to Suggs, and I went at him and I went at some of the stands, and then suddenly this appeared in my DMs. And I gotta say, I was surprised because you know the drill. You see a message from somebody you don't know. It's gonna be one of two things. Porn bot. No, sometimes it's 3. Like I got people I hang out with who have a message before. They'll send me something. Hey, you want to come and do this? You want to link for this? I get that. Or it's hate mail. More often than not, 9 times out of 10, it's hate mail. I've been told to Minecraft myself many times in Twitter DMs. So I open it up and look what it is. It's Suggsy.
not even a good burn. It's like, oh,
so-
you disagree with me? You must need a job. You must be unemployed.
Hey, bro,
Okay.
I thought you might need this. A link to Indeed. First of all, for the record, Indeed is a horrible job search engine. I have used it in the
Terrible.
past.
It's like
terrible.
the only one worse
It's
than
worse.
LinkedIn.
It's worse. It's
Horrible.
during the 2010s when I was fresh out of my master's degree, and when I was trying to change careers, I was looking for work. I was using Indeed. It's horrible. It's horrible. So it's not even a good burn because you can't. No one gets a job through Indeed. No one does. So
That's true.
this is his thing of me. He comes at me like a coward in the DMs. Mind you, we've talked about this. This guy is Mr. Positivity on Twitter. I'm here to share positivity about Star Wars because the toxic nerds are so evil with the way they talk about it. The worst YouTubers you know. So I got this and I thought, well, I was keeping it public. He's trying to get all mean and nasty with me in private. So I took this screenshot and I posted it. And I said, look, Mr. Positivity's a coward. And I added him too, because I'm not afraid of him. I added him. And I get his attention. And I said, look, Mr. Positivity only wants to talk about things that are nice, never wants to attack this, that. He came at me in private like a coward. Come on, bring it. You made this. I kept this public. You want to go private, but I don't care. And then I did reply to him in this thing. I did say reply. I said, "You're not creative. You're a coward, and go ahead and bring your little stand horde at me. I don't care." Okay, so let me bring this down. Bring the other one back up. He did bring his stand horde at me. Hang on, where did it go? God damn it! I am so good at YouTube. God damn it! Wrong. Windows, many things all over the place. That is not what I want to do. There we go. So then his little stand horde did try and come at me. Here is my post for my Skeleton Crew thing. 19,000 views. That's like Mount Everest for me on X Twitter. I don't get interactions like this.
Yeah.
I have 175 followers. I never get viral. I get nothing because I don't try. I'm just a tiny little troll shit poster. And they start posting their shit. Look at 43. I got ratioed, guys. I got ratioed on Twitter. I feel so bad. So they all coming Star Wars. Look at this. They think this is a win. So it's the bullshit. It's the bullshit. They think they get me. I of course ignore it because I don't care. I didn't even look at it until just yesterday when I was thinking about doing this. So that was the end of it for the day. You know, one of the other stands came at me and I said to him, "Oh, look, I don't even know who you are. And I live in your head rent free." It kind of proved I live in their heads rent free.
Absolutely. That
Little
doesn't
tiny,
prove it.
insignificant channel me lives in their heads rent free. So that was that. And I walked through. So we got to the next day and I wake up and I do my routine. I'm going to see if I feel like trolling anybody on the Twitter. I see a Suggs post and I go, I'm going to show them that I'm not afraid. They did their mighty ratio with 43 comments to a couple of likes. That horrible ratio. I'm so tired. I'm going to go slit my wrists in Minecraft and feel sad forever. So I did one more troll just to show that I didn't give a shit. So we had this, and then 10 minutes later, I find this.
Oh wow!
You finally did it. Your life's work has been achieved.
It has been achieved. I feel good. I never have to see this moron again, and this is the last time we're gonna talk about it. We monetized him one last time. For your entertainment, my friends. I got the block. Now, Dermy had been holding his block for him over me for months. I got the block during the Mauler thing because I called him gay and retarded. That's Dermy to me, and I'm just going to get shut up. But you have to understand, look at the way in which I got this block. I got under his skin so much, he DM'd me. That's how much I got under his skin. So I win. He may thinks he wins because he did a tiny ratio on my insignificant profile on next Twitter. But I win because I never have to see him again. And now, as I remove this from the screen, and as I remove this from my other screen here, I will never think of Jacob Timothy Suggs ever again. Because I will
At least until you go on Ball Busters and Dermy has something to say.
No, Dermy's blocked by him too. So
everybody's winning.
Yeah, everybody. So now the saga's over. It took 2 years of me being just being a complete troll, not giving a shit. But it's done. It's over.
You know what we have to do now, right? We have to turn on post notifications for Suggs and green cap all of his tweets and send them to Adam.
Of course,
just so he's always.
You realize he posts every hour on the hour with Disney Star Wars shit.
Hey, I work in technology. I can make a bot to do it for me.
That's the way. That's the way.
So I just wanted to share that because we have ripped on Suggsy a lot. We have ripped on him a lot. And now we never have to talk about him again. Because he doesn't live in my head. I did it because it was annoying whenever he popped up on my timeline, and it's a game to me. I treat this shit like a game. They treat it like it's real. And that's the difference between us and them. They treat this shit as though it means something. It's Twitter. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Twitter is a place where you go to fight, you go to shitpost, put up memes, and make fun of people. That's essentially what it is. It shouldn't be anything else. And occasionally see some titties. Because
ain't no occasional. That's everywhere.
Well, it is occasional. I have to surf a certain amount through my timeline and have it repeat itself enough times before the porn stuff starts showing up. And then I usually screen cap it or save it, and I bring it on Ball Busters on Friday for my transitions because that's my.
Of course, you screen cap it. Of course, you do.
Well, I have to bookmark it because I have to remember to bring it up on Ball Busters. It's
of course.
Somebody has to bring somebody has to bring boobs to that show. Otherwise, it's Dermy being gay.
That's also true.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. All right. So let's. I just had to share that. I want to share my victory. Hit that like button if you like my victory. Subscribe to the channel if you like my victory. But there we go. So that is done with that. Never talking about Suggs again because I never have to. But we've got other stuff to talk about. So we have real Disney Star Wars news. As I said, Skeleton Crew was announced this week, but that wasn't it. Because now Skeleton Crew, we've got probably in a month or so, we'll get a trailer for that. I will rip that trailer apart. And I will state this again. Skeleton Crew doesn't look like it's going to be Acolyte level of cringe. It's just going to be a stupid. It's going to be a stupid little show that's meaningless and is just poorly directed, acted, and designed. It's just going to be stupid and meaningless and dumb. When you have Jude Law and 4 kids and a Nick Frost voiced robot and a bunch of bad Disney Star Wars aliens, it's a recipe for stupid, and that's what's probably going to be stupid.
I'm putting this in the Ewok category. That's where I'm pretty much putting this.
Yeah.
Is it a show or a movie?
Show.
Oh, okay. I still put it in the Ewoks category.
Disney Star Wars show, though. It'll be about as long as a movie. If
you're
lucky.
Of course. Yeah. So I'm looking at it. Like I saw the poster. You see the kids, like the Goonies, blah, blah, blah.
It actually is the Goonies. They're saying they were influenced by the Goonies.
Oh, is that?
That's because they can't have anything original. It's just
Jesus
Star Wars
Christ,
Goonies.
they take on with anything. Christ in heaven.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It literally is influenced by the Goonies. I shit you not.
Mm-hmm. Jude Law needs a new agent. He's been in so much crap the last few years.
And where has he been up until now? Promote for this. They have not
wheeled him out yet.
Boom,
he's their only heavy hitter for marketing.
Now I'm going to give them props. Jude Law said all the right things. We had a fun time doing it. We hope you enjoy it. Is that no negative comments? So Jude Law,
he is a professional.
He's a professional. He came out, he promoted it, didn't say anything about the fans, just said we hope you enjoy it. We had a lot of fun making it. Everybody did their best. You know, that's all he said. And good. I gave him plenty of credit for that in my video. But the show's still gonna suck because it's Disney Star Wars.
Suck bad.
It's gonna suck. But because it's that, and it's made for childish adults, is what it is. That was part of my whole thing that got their attention with the stance with that video. It's made for childish adults, and you just got to go look. and all their responses to it on Twitter. They're going, "Oh my God, yay! Oh my God, yay!" That's essentially it. "Oh my God, yay! I'm so excited. This is going to be the best thing since the last thing." It's all of that.
Well, you just need one example of that, why it's made for childish adults. What 6-year-old girl or whatever, however old these kids are, cares that a character in a show has the side shave, right? That's terrible side shave that you see in the poster. None of them. How many Disney adults care that a child has the lesbian side shave? All of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Even better. We've shown sometimes there's that horrible animated thing, Young Jedi Knights, which takes place in the High Republic, and they have this tiny little teddy bear bitch called Zubs or some shit like that, and they're all obsessed with him. It's like their version of Baby Yoda. Like, "Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh, he says that because he's like this retarded little beast Jedi thing." Anyway, in this show, I always pronounce it wrong. It's basically the species of Max Rebo, the blue elephant alien types in Order Lorlin. I always pronounce it incorrectly. They've got a child Order Lorlin in this. And everybody, without knowing anything about it, he's their poster child for this show and why it's going to be great, saying that him and this little retard bitch from High Republic Jedi, they would be best friends. And oh, look, here's our cute thing with Baby Yoda. All these, they're like their little cute Avengers when they're all together. They all reply to it in that same way. They're children. These are childish adults because they react this way. But they're tourists.
Yeah, I'll agree with the sentiment. Now, this is what I will say. We remember when the Ewoks were marketed and then the Ewoks film came out, later on.
Yeah.
That
We
was
do all
directly
remember
targeted
that.
at kids to sell Ewok plushes.
When
That's
I was
it.
a kid, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world when I was
Yes.
6.
Absolutely.
I thought it was fantastic.
And Adam, that's exactly where I was going. We were kids when those Ewok plushes were hitting stores and everybody wanted Wicket. Everybody wanted all those plush toys. 110%. I'm not giving this thing a benefit of the doubt on any level.
No.
But what I'm saying is this show could be what that was back then. Now, granted, a lot has changed since then, but this could be the Ewoks mania thing that they're trying to get jump started with all these cute.
But it didn't work. It hasn't worked.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll agree.
Yeah.
But I think this is their attempt at trying to recreate that, and I use this term very loosely, magic that was done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can assume rationally. But once again, I'm not dealing with rational people.
No.
So, but I'm the only way I can compute this is that way. Like, oh, kids are gonna want the plush toys and all the cutesy animals, the bed mates and stuff, and stuff like that, teddy bears.
But
that's what I can think of.
Dre, to your point, the kids aren't the one buying the stuff. All that merch is being bought by childish adults. Literally, they literally post themselves buying it on Twitter all the time. They're the ones buying it. Kids are not buying this garbage because kids are not into Disney Star Wars. I mean, Jed you've seen this all the time. The merch is dead, and nobody is buying it. A whole generation of children care more about Harry Potter than Star Wars.
I agree.
Not even close. I mean, Paw Patrol sells out Star Wars. Was there any Acolyte merch made? I haven't even heard of it not selling.
Oh, there's Acolyte merch made.
Okay.
And it's Black Series action figures and Funko Pops and other shticklock that they just have around. It's they make just and Legos, some Legos too, I guess. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. You can't. Here's the thing when it comes to Legos and people buying for Star Wars, that doesn't count in my opinion because people just buy fucking Legos. It's its own thing. They'll always buy. It could be the most retarded fucking thing in the world, and people will go out and buy the Lego for it because they like to buy Legos. But the Acolyte merch is out there. But it's only being bought by the circle jerkers on Twitter. That's who's buying it. It's not really. It's the same as Rebels merch. It doesn't really move. Same as Ahsoka merch. It doesn't move. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Hasbro said to Disney Lucasfilm about the Acolyte what they said to them about Ahsoka. We're going to make this much because our numbers tell us that's how much will exactly sell and no more.
I don't even know if they'll do that because, like you've been pointing out, it hasn't reached the Nielsen's in what 3 weeks now.
Oh, you say that, and I have it, yet I don't have it. I did.
Yeah,
bring
if
it
it's
up
not
on-
even appearing on the
It's on a different
Nielsen's
tab.
for a Disney Star Wars show,
Yeah.
it's not selling any merch.
Third week in a
whatsoever.
row, it fell off. Third week in a row. We'll be talking about that when we get into the discussion at the end there about Disney is doomed, because that's just an example of what's going on there. But back to Disney Star Wars at the moment. It is completely falling apart because they haven't instilled hope and installed a new generation of fans. So much so that nobody even cares about the games. Only shills. The only people who care about it, who got it for free, who got to play it for free leading up to it, and Outlaws, Ubisoft. I mean, Dre, you can attest to this because you lived in the golden age, what I called it. I talked about this on Wednesday when I did my stream about real Star Wars fans versus stands. The golden age of Lucasfilm, LucasArts, the mid to late 90s into the mid 2000s, where we were blessed.
Oh, that's not even the word to describe. We were drowning in riches. We were Scrooge McDucking out here. Like,
The games of all shapes and sizes. I mean, for me, I had my RPGs, I had my KOTORs, I had my strategy games, I had Empire War, I had every kind of strategy game I wanted, and I was happy. But then people wanted to play Bounty Hunter, people wanted to play more TIE Fighter, more X-Wing, they wanted to play Force Unleashed, they wanted the Bruiser, Smash Mom, shit like that, the fighter type thing. They had it, we had it all.
Yep.
It was a cornucopia of brilliance. And we feasted for years. And now what we have here is dog shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's dog shit. And Star Wars Outlaws is it is the perfect example to show you that one, so-called AAA companies, they don't got it anymore. We talked about it when we started the stream. Ubisoft has a lot of problems right now.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of problems.
A lot of problems.
Shadows is going to be a disaster because it's being rejected in Japan. There are people. What is that? That was something. I don't know. That wasn't here.
Jesus, was that you?
Was it a buzzing? I have some noise outside. Is that what it was?
Landscape. It sounds like landscaping.
Yeah,
sounds like landscaping. Okay,
I'll keep myself muted then.
I just got to isolate that. Okay.
I'm like, well, they finally come for me. I knew it. I knew this day would come.
Anyway, so Ubisoft Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's the other half of this, which we've touched on, but we're not really going to focus on today because they're developing stories of that. We need to see how that plays out before we dig into it, and also then that'll be Jed's turn to rip on that. I'm going to rip on this. Outlaws, the other half of the problem. They have spent the equivalent of a big budget Hollywood movie on this game. Over $200 million. Mm-hmm. They spent a lot of money on this game. Mm-hmm. And this is what they say. They're basing it on a Ghost of Tsushima. They're basing it on a Red Dead Redemption 2. They have all these grand designs, and it's a mess. It's a mess.
Crazy thought here.
Yeah.
Why didn't you base it on Star Wars?
Ooh.
No.
Oh my stars and stripes.
Why don't you have a real Star Wars character instead of Ugly Ma'am Solo, which we'll get to in a minute? That's the Ugly K Vest has circled back into relevance again. But it's falling apart, and we're going to get in a second. But while it's falling apart, what do you think the director of the game is talking about? This male feminist goes to the Washington Post. Jed Muse. Goes to the Washington Post. First of all, who's going to the Washington Post to talk video games?
That's a good question.
That's good. To complain about the fact that we're not going to engage with the haters about K-Vest. She's beautiful. They are still trying to convince us she's beautiful. They can't even find IGN, shill of shills, can't even find a good shot for that. Doesn't even put it out. I mean, I don't think I actually have it on the tab here. I'll bring it up in a minute. I'll get it when I add it. She's ugly. Ugly beyond sin. While the actress, Humberly Gonzalez, she said, that's a pretty girl. That's a pretty girl. But they made her ugly. But that's what they're going to talk about. No, let's focus on engaging about not engaging the toxic fans because she's ugly. Instead of focusing on the fact that your game is flipping broken. This is just one of the first things we're not going to do.
Yeah, I saw this.
We've got this is one of the more famous ones. I haven't even better one, but watch this for a second here, where she's gonna. I'm sorry, she's gonna. Wow. I mean, now we've had people break it down. The hitbox is even off. The hand misses the helmet.
Yeah,
completely. But that's just part of it. Now let's get deeper in this. Learning the Law has been posting a lot of this stuff, so we give him full credit for this. But we get more. Here's the uglification.
Oh my God.
This is not beautiful. This is ugly. It's ugly. But now here's where I want to go to. Here is my favorite clip. My favorite clip is this one right here. And I'm going to share it with audio because you have to listen to it yourself. Because I want you to pick out the glorious little tidbit. So here we are. Kay Vest sneaking into some Imperial installation.
Move, trooper. There's a possible intruder near the cargo bay.
What did that sound like?
A woman?
Oh, woman.
That sounds like a bloke.
No, that's a woman. That's a woman. That's female stormtroopers. Female.
Oh, I thought you meant the main female character. Then I was like, I mean, that sounds like a bloke.
No,
Sorry.
that it's okay. We still love you. It's okay. Female stormtroopers. Here, this is the taking place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of Jedi. The Empire is at its peak power. Female stormtroopers. Okay?
Do they have titty armor?
Yes.
Oh.
I'll show you in a second. So, female stormtroopers. Okay, they're just gonna run right by now. Jed, you've played plenty of roguelikes. I know you have. We know that you have positions to hide in plain sight, but that's just dumb. Crate in the middle of the thing, they walk right by. It just doesn't make sense, does it?
No, that barrier, I don't know why in the world those crates would be there to begin with.
Yeah.
But stormtroopers aren't known for having a lack of peripheral vision. If there was something in universe like they couldn't see left and right, maybe it could make sense. But I've never heard of anything like that. So these are just, if they weren't on lookout, it could make sense if they were just casually walking by, not paying attention. But they're on high alert. Yeah. They're looking for an intruder, as the clip showed. Yeah, they're not even trying with stealth, which is disappointing because Ubisoft, is at least in the early days, they invented stealth games.
Yes,
essentially. Yes,
they were the standard.
Yeah. They were the standard.
It gets worse, Jed. It gets worse. So here we now. Kay's going to keep going.
Nix, it's showtime.
So now, little beastie is your distraction technique. So logic here. I know that's a very dangerous thing to bring in this equation. Logically thinking, you are a stormtrooper on duty in an Imperial base, and a weird little alien beastie is sitting in front of you. What do?
Shoot it.
Thank you. You shoot it. You're a stormtrooper. You have no morals. You have no ethics. You are a trained killer. What is it going to do?
Just without that, it's not just a matter of morality. It's a matter of logic. They are
infestation.
Infestation.
Yeah. So okay. So nope.
Hey, get that thing.
So female stormtrooper is going to say, get that thing. And then apparently the creature plays dead and they stand there just looking at it. Okay. They just stand there looking at it. And now watch this. Here it comes. Oh, just gonna gut punch through that armor, huh?
Yeah, that's some Cassandra Nova shit.
Oh man, just gonna punch him in the helmet. Dre is broken inside.
I don't want to be on this planet anymore.
So let's watch it again. She just knocks her because that's a female stormtrooper. Knocks her the fuck out. And yes, see, there's your titty armor.
Titties.
There's your titty armor. All right, now she's out. Okay, we're only halfway through the clip. What else can possibly go wrong?
Wait. Before we go forward.
Okay.
Did she punch a helmet?
Yes. She punched it in the helmet. She punched it in the helmet.
God, just making sure I'm not retarded.
Punch it in the helmet.
Okay.
No, your lying eyes told you the truth.
Okay, got it.
Okay, it gets worse. Okay, we've got
Reported near the cargo bay.
a stormtrooper.
Exploration.
599, get down there.
So we've got the distracted again.
Any updates on
Okay, so you saw right there. Look, there's a guy over here. You see him? There's a guy stationed there. The stormtrooper's being distracted by little fuzzy bitch. And now,
any updates on the situation?
oh look, here's an Imperial female officer. Another whammons. Okay, watch this. Okay, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed.
Is that okay? I have a question. I have a quick question. I don't know if you know, Adam. Is that a stealth technique or is it just?
Yes, that's takedown.
Never mind.
That's takedown.
Okay, see now my brain's cooking. You see, there used to be a great franchise called Batman Arkham, which may be the greatest trilogy of video games of all time, where you have to use legitimate stealth to not alert anybody, and if you use a takedown, it alerts everyone.
Yep.
And that's a takedown. And you notice she used the pistol. Watch, I'll show you again. She actually uses the pistol.
Are you sure?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I thought I saw a pistol. I thought I saw a pistol in her hand. Hang on. Oh no, but it's just her hand. So it's just a tomahawk chop. Okay, tomahawk chop. Okay, all right. So she's down. Doesn't notice. Okay, that dude's still pointing at the dead creature. Just pointing at it. He's just pointing at it. All right. Watch this. She's right next to the other dude, right behind him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Other doesn't know what's going. Oh, look, she drew her gun. That's a stun blast, not a blast, but it still makes a noise. Is that legitimate? It still makes a noise. It just made a noise, and she's literally 3 feet away from the other dude. Look, oh, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what's going on. I'm still jerking off in front of my console. And that's stealth. That's stealth in Outlaws. We're not done. We aren't done. We're not. There's more. Let me switch back to the original tab. So we go back.
It kills me that I have to reference a franchise that hasn't had a new game in over a decade that did this a bazillion times better.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? Well, I know Rocksteady is absolute garbage now, but
it is.
Good grief. The idea that they implemented literally rivaled Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the studio that made, wait for it, Assassin's Creed. And they can't even get stealth right.
It's not the same people anymore. Those people aren't there anymore.
Even if they're not the same people.
We're not. It gets
at
worse.
Your disposal.
So that just shows you how broken all that stealth mechanics are in this. But now, no, not this one. Not this one. Here we go. This one right here. It's a GIF, but look at those stormtroopers just shooting at the wall. Just shooting at the wall.
When does this game come out?
It's out.
This game is out.
Outlaws is out?
I think it's out. It's out this week.
No. See, that's how irrelevant it is. I had no idea it was coming out anytime soon.
It comes out, I believe, the next week. These are all these are the clips that are supposed to sell the game.
This is going to be a cyberpunk level broken disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. It's at the end of the
would be.
It released August 30th.
30th.
However,
oh damn! I thought it was next week.
No, it's all good. But based on the timing, it is August 4th today. Today's August 4th. Yeah. This joint is in release candidacy. It's already there.
Yeah.
This isn't a beta branch. This is release candidacy. That means Xbox, PlayStation, PC have it in their hands already.
This is the footage that people recorded during their free plays that they got to play
the free play
weeks ago. This is what they got to do a couple weeks ago. All right.
Oh no.
This is supposed to be selling a game. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
This game is broken.
It is that the point. But here we go. Let's now people have been using the actually I gotta zoom out because it'll kill it if I do this. Hold on a second. People have been
The
using.
the only difference between this and Cyberpunk is, at least with Cyberpunk, they tried to fix all the glitches. That's the only difference. I don't think they're gonna.
Eventually,
Yeah.
But now that people are using the Pike Syndicate section, but I like this one better because I just saw this one yesterday. This is from the poster we saw earlier. Watch this now. No audio because I haven't. It doesn't matter. You don't need the audio. You just need the visuals. Watch the stormtroopers. She's standing right there. She's standing right there, huh?
This cannot be. This can't be an RC. I refuse to believe.
She's
that this isn't
in.
really
God,
candidate.
right at him. Yeah, what?
It can't be.
Watch.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The vision cone is this small. Oh no.
The other guy still doesn't know it. This one's on alert, and the other guy still doesn't know what's going on.
Oh
And
no.
then alert each other. That's a basic of stealth games. Calling
So-
in
oh
reinforcements.
my
Now
god.
watch. Here, go. We're not done yet. Now watch. More helmet punching.
What
More
is
helmet
going
punching.
on?
More helmet
What does
punching.
Disney Star Wars think these helmets are made out of?
I don't know.
Play-Doh?
Paper mache.
Okay, we got one more here. I'm gonna
Oh
go in
my
without 'cause it'll-
stars.
No, now, listen, Jed, you've played The Witcher 3. You know
I have.
mount mechanics can be a little iffy. Roach is terrible.
Now,
Roach
don't
is-
you dare just besmirch that game.
I'll besmirch Roach all I want. Fuck Roach. But mount mechanics in games can either be glorious or bad.
Mhm.
And we've seen a lot of mount mechanics. Let's watch Kay again. No volume. We don't need it. It's all about the visuals. Here she goes on her speeder. It's a little montage. The controls must be so good.
That's
how-
really
how-
clunky.
Really? Oh, we hit a. Oh, wait a minute. We're not. Oh, we're gonna. It's a straightaway. It's a straightaway.
What
It's
does this
straightaway.
remind me of? Oh my god.
Oh, we're not done. Oh, there's-
I feel like they haven't taken into account inertia.
Road rash.
look. She's gonna. There's nothing there. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, this is bad.
I don't think they know that you keep moving after your bike stops like that suddenly.
I you know what? Screw the inertia jet. Oh, my stars and stripes. What's going on here?
Oh.
Wasted. So there is thing is called collision, which everybody is familiar with. It's how you stay on the ground and everything. If you have a game that has this type of traversal, the only thing you should have collision on are things that are actual solid objects that affect your gameplay, whether it's a giant boulder or maybe a giant tree or something. Everything else you should be able to ride over. That means that the collision that they put in play are stair collisions, which should not be there. Stair collisions are literally for what? Wait for it, stairs. So these type of collisions are ones you come in. Yeah, exactly. They come in contact with, and it will cause a bump and or a slide. So if you're having a wait for it hovercraft, it shouldn't be hitting the ground unless you're going to hit a rock. So whoever did this design, at least level design, they've made a terrible error in traversal, and God knows what they're going to even do with the control system for that. That don't looks like it's extremely hard to.
And this is done. Like you said, Dre, this is release ready. It's done.
It's an RC.
It's how she's waving her arms as she's falling. That I'm laughing at.
That goes from Road Rash, 1994. Road Rash.
Yep.
That's exactly what it's from.
And people are talking about. I've heard them say, "Oh, but the worlds are really large. It takes a while to explore everything." But there's no consistency to this game. So you've seen this game is broken.
Oh yeah.
You've got the ugliest of ugliest characters. I mean, the mullet, the teeth, and the broken nose, and that's actually a pretty woman on the other side of this. They just don't care. They've released it as it is. The story is janked. They want you to spend $130 for the complete package if you buy everything. And it's not made for Star Wars fans. It's made for tourists. And the stands won't buy this because the stands, those who got it, they got their free play. They don't need to play anymore. They got their free play, or they got their free copy for review purposes.
You
This
know,
thing, go ahead.
the uglification thing, I know we've beat this to death over the last couple of years or
Like
so.
her
because,
face.
Yeah, nice. But I remember when we still liked our protagonist to look attractive. Iden Versio wasn't that long ago. All right, and Battlefront 2. Granted, she was portrayed by Janina Gavacar, and she's smoking hot. Anyway, they literally portrayed her as she was, and she did the motion capture and voice work. Why is that not happening here? I don't get it.
Because
it's
beauty
harder.
is evil. They'll have that ugly chick from Star Wars, from Fallen Order and Survivor. She can be bald and ugly all she wants. That's her. They rip her exactly as she looks in real life. They don't change it, but they'll make a pretty girl like Umberly Gonzalez look like she hit every branch of the ugly tree on the way down.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, when it comes to character design, do you know? I'm gonna take a guess. What do you think is cheaper for a studio to do? Do a motion capture and then replicate, or create a bunch of original 3D models that go through at least 100 different revisions in order to try to create a face?
I will take door number 1, Bob.
That is correct, sir. That is absolutely unequivocally correct. It saves hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even if this was a cost-effective thing, using the motion capture and using those renders would save you unteen millions. Who is running this show?
Retards.
Good Lord.
Retards who are now going to see, and I predicted this before, I'm going to predict it again, after this week of horrible press for this game doesn't break 5 million copies.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that's actually, Adam, I think that's a very, very high bride price that you threw out there. 5 million is steep.
I'm being generous here. I know.
Very generous.
I
think the discussion
normie things, you never normies.
I think the discussion to have here is, obviously, I think less people will have played Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, but which will be the bigger financial disaster between the two? Because it sounds like Outlaws is a lot more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it leads into what we were talking before. Between this and Shadows, and there is the argument that a bunch of normies will likely buy Shadows, not knowing what's going on.
Well, there still needs to be that normie Assassin's Creed audience, which doesn't really exist. Mirage was an abject failure, and that didn't have this discord around it.
We were talking about that last night, and people forget about Mirage. And I said, Jed knows about it. Jed knows exactly how bad it was.
It's truly horrific.
So, I mean, is there an audience left for Assassin's Creed? Really?
A good Assassin's Creed game?
No, I mean in general.
It's kind of reached its end. I mean, there's 15 games at this point, and
a lot.
Yeah, they tried to breathe something new in with the Mythology RPG trilogy. Mixed reviews at best to that.
It made more enemies than friends because people like every time it comes up. Oh man, it's not Assassin's Creed, all this RPG stuff, and people will shit on Odyssey, even though Odyssey is a good game overall.
Odyssey is great. It's just not an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
Completely separate it. I love it. As an Assassin's Creed game, it's terrible.
Yeah. So there is no life left in this because it's not the same franchise anymore. I mean, even if they do the reboot, re-release of 1 to have it more form-fitting to what we have today, it's still not going to bring anybody back.
Nope.
And Infinity is not going to bring anyone back. They have a lot of small projects coming, like a mobile game and whatnot. There's a China game coming, in Assassin's Creed in China. But their big project coming up is called Infinity, and it's going to be a live service game like GTA Online is their model, and they're going to have different seasons with different historical eras. You play the same person in the modern day going into the Animus, it sounds like, but you get updates to the Animus to go to different places for the different seasons. I don't know if that's going to advance, though, after Shadows fails.
Here's the problem, though. People are rejecting live service. Live service is being massively rejected right now. Nobody wants that shit. So Ubisoft between Outlaws and Shadows, this could be the end of Ubisoft because they got nothing else. They release these 2 games. They got nothing next year. There's nothing coming out really. I mean, you talk about these other little things, but they're not real mega releases.
No.
So it could be the end. They're going to lose they're going to lose everything because this has been a horrendous week of marketing for Outlaws. And as I showed you, all this guy cares about here is whining about how we don't think she's beautiful. Not that your game is completely broken, but that we're pushing back on the uglification of beautiful women. That's it. And it's so, let it. I could not be more pleased if it is if a bad Star Wars game is what ends up killing Ubisoft. Fine. It just shows you there is no market for Disney Star Wars. There is no market for these rushed AAA games that don't care about the original audience. They just care about the tourists. They just care about getting a pop of, oh, look, you respected my diversity. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. And that's the problem Disney has as a whole. They have not, they haven't addressed all these problems fast enough. I mean, there are rumors out there right now. There are rumors that in the wake of the Deadpool Wolverine success, that Marvel MCU Disney cleaned a little house. Fired a bunch of people, realizing, okay, this works. Too little, too late. I mean, this right here, this is astounding. 824 million week 2. Hot damn. It's $1 billion by next week.
Oh, easily.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, god damn it, motherfucker.
And I think it passed Passion of the Christ for the
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
for domestic box office, which is a record that stood for 20 years.
Look at that. Only a 54% drop off.
That's insane.
That's strong. That's
And
very
everybody went to see this last week. Everybody.
Yeah.
That means
Repeat.
It did it. Repeat views. So
I was to say, what I forgot to say earlier is that this is what, in my opinion, I think Doctor Strange 2 and Loki should have been, especially Doctor Strange 2. I think this is what it should have been, but obviously it ended up not being that, and Deadpool 3 ended up being what those two should have been, in my opinion, because of all the little references that they had in, especially with Loki. And I think that might have something to do with its success as well.
Well, that's the problem, though. They referenced Loki.
Yeah, that's what made me hesitant originally.
That's the worst parts of this movie.
Oh,
things that reference the MCU.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine. But it held on massive holds to basically have nearly a $40 million day on Saturday. I mean, this movie, it's great, and it deserves its win.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But this isn't a win for Disney.
No.
Because their material is not what won this day. It's Fox stuff that won this day. And I accidentally clicked it, but you go back. Here's their other win. Oh, God damn it. Their other win was Inside Out 2. This is their other one, $1.5 billion. So
wow,
this one, I think this was just a moment of opportunity that it was the right place at the right time. That's what.
And not only that, actually, young lady, please go ahead.
It's essentially basically a little tribute to all the Marvel Fox films, which I'm amazed at how many people of this generation aren't even aware actually exist. Because a lot of people seem to think, oh, it's not a Marvel film because it's not part of the MCU. And it's like, what you want about Marvel been doing films for decades? It's not just a new thing. And I think that's probably the inspiration behind Elektra's quote, unquote, some of us have been forgotten about in the film because, Captain Marvel is the first female-led superhero film for Marvel, and I'm sitting there giving it. By the way, Black Panther's the first black superhero film for Marvel. I'm old enough to remember when Blade came out. I'm old enough to remember when Elektra came out.
Yeah, I mean, but
excellent
that's part
point.
of it. That's part of it. They don't. It's what people enjoyed about this movie had nothing to do with the MCU.
Absolutely.
And they were self-aware enough to make it a joke, which is why we rolled with it. And right here, Inside Out 2, it was right place, right time, and I don't think anybody was paying attention to it. Because if they were paying attention to it,
the best thing to do at Disney is not be paid attention to. I mean, even back in the old day, Lion King was the B team. They didn't think the Lion King was going to be successful. They were betting on Pocahontas with their A team. It's usually a thing to not be on Disney's primary radar.
Yeah, and because if it's been on the radar, I guarantee intersectionalism and not so secret agenda would have been put in this movie.
Yeah. So me and my wife went to go see Inside Out 2 last week because she wanted to go. I had no desire. So I was like, hey, whatever, screw it. It was on a Tuesday, AMC, $7 movies. You can't beat that. So,
hey. All right.
Yeah, hey, might as well.
That's almost old school prices.
Almost, yeah. So we went to go see it, and I was like, okay, let's have a look. And literally, it is just a nice coming of age story that shows like what happens when you hit puberty, and it's just like all the emotions that come to your head and how your life starts spiraling out of control because you allow anxiety to take you over and you ignore logic, mathematics, and reason. And that's the entire movie. Yeah. And they had like fun little references. The kids would laugh. There's plenty of colors. There's some stuff for adults because we had gone through puberty before, so we can relate to the stuff that's going on. It's literally just a nice, fun movie that the whole family can enjoy. So I can see why it's making this kind of money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right place, right time, because it's what people wanted. It's a safe movie for your kids. It's easy to understand, and it doesn't have indoctrination agenda built into it.
Not one bit.
Because it was ignored. It was not paying attention. That's why it's working. And you then now they're going to make a third one. They're going to because that's. And now look out in the third one. She's going to go to college. Look out! I guarantee it's going to be college.
They can't do that.
But
they can't.
They will.
They can't do that. Just look. I mean, even a clock is right. Broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, just leave it alone.
But they won't, Trey.
People are coming to spend your money.
They won't. They're going to take the wrong message from this. They're going to take it, and then because we're still in the middle of wokeness, we're still in the middle of all agenda. They will take it. They will put it together a script where she's going to go to college and be what is the phrase? Gay until graduation. I mean, it'll be she'll discover herself. Or someone.
And let me guess, all her friends that she has in this one, I guess they're all going to be scissoring. I guess that's the
shaved
idea.
heads galore.
It'll be glorious.
Listen. We are merely making a prediction based upon the usual reaction by companies when they have something that works like this. Then they pay attention to it, and here come the notes. Here come the activists to ruin it. So they gotta win here.
Oh, big time.
They gotta win with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Absolutely.
I feel like Disney has made more money this last month than the last 2 years combined.
You are correct, my friend. They have probably made about easily because I think that was a very small budget on Inside Out 2. They've made almost $1 billion, I think, probably in net profit on this.
Probably
$1 billion in a month in profit. That's not bad.
And then there's going to be digital sales and there'll be Blu-ray sales.
Yeah, a Deadpool will definitely sell on.
And now Deadpool,
both of them will.
And then there's going to be the director's cut of Deadpool. There's going to be.
And that's what I was about to say, Adam. You beat me to the punch because like the director's cut, I bet them Blu-rays are going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Absolutely. Deadpool is probably going to top out at probably 1.1, 1.2. So that's probably where it's going to top out.
That's fair.
It'll run out of gas. It crossed the $1 billion. We've admitted before we were all wrong. We didn't think it would get this far, but then we saw it and we understand what it was. Fan service, the movie, just dumb fun. So here we go. It's making all this money. So Disney for this quarter will have a massive profit. It's going to look great on the balance sheets. The investors are going to be happy. Okay. This is where we're going now for the rest of this conversation today. Disney had 2 major wins here. Do they learn anything?
Nope.
No.
It's not even a question.
No, because before we keep going, though, because we're going to get too far away from it, real quick, Jay Frazier, 360 for 10 pounds. Hail, round table. Hideo Kojima has the only tech in the video game industry that makes female characters look like they're voice actors. Also, Michael Fassbender might be the antagonist in Cavill's Highlander, not the Kurgan. I'm fine with that. I like Fassbender. Fassbender's a good actor.
Yeah. Mm.
Good actor.
I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, he's very good.
So listen, I'm fine with that. That would be fine. It doesn't have to be the Kurgan. It doesn't have to be Kurgan because you know what? Tell a new story. I'm okay if they tell a new story. So I'm fine with that. All right. So thank you, Jay Fraser, for the 10 pounds. But Disney now, are they on their way to victory?
No.
And we must specifically realize what's going on. These are just the tidbits now. More layoffs happened this week. Not a ton, but more happened at Disney Television. 140 people laid off. All right. There's people without their jobs. That strike really saved a lot of jobs, didn't it? Saved a lot of jobs in the industry. So Disney's laying off people. This is the beginning because they need to cut costs because they made their money with Deadpool Wolverine. They made that money with Inside Out 2. So Pixar and part of the MCU, they made some money. How's Lucasfilm doing, guys? How's Lucasfilm doing? Oh, your silence means they're doing shit. Lucasfilm has never made a profit. How do you make a profit, as we referenced earlier, when for the third week in a row, you don't chart on originals on streaming for July 1st, July 7th, and then you are still not even on. I'm sorry, you're not on. I'm sorry, overalls, then originals. Excuse me. No Disney Plus on this here. None.
Makes a lot of sense.
That stinking Love Island is still there. Sweet Jesus.
So,
God almighty.
How do you make money on a show that nobody's watching? But we were told by all the stands, the Acolyte's great. Everybody's watching it. Don't believe the review bombing. This is not review bombing. This is the most legitimate statistical analysis you can get for ratings. Nielsen, the standard for 40 years. Not perfect, but the standard. They're trustworthy. It is what it is. And they've adjusted their metrics for streaming. Doesn't even break into their top 10. I doubt it's even in the top 15. Probably in the top 20 with maybe 133 million or something like minutes viewed for the shit episode. So the Acolyte, the Acolyte is where Disney's at. And what you got coming out too, we talked about it. We got Skeleton Crew. You got Young Jedi Adventures. Andor Season 2 very soon. Rumors maybe this month. I saw one rumor. I think it was false now. I want that so badly. I will rip that to shreds too. I don't care if it has some people loving it. Andor isn't Star Wars either. So, but that's your television. That's all the Disney Plus. Black hole. Money goes in, nothing comes out. I love it. Movies. Lucasfilm movies. What has happened in the past 2 years? They lost a lot of money on Indiana Jones. Lost a lot of money.
Oof.
Big oof. That was their only movie. Then they lost Willow. It was Willow. All the other Disney Star Wars shows didn't make any money because it's Disney Plus. So you haven't made money on Lucasfilm in the past several years. But now you got Mandalorian and Grogu going into production this month, I believe. This month or next month. Then you've got the Rey movie. How much money do you think is going to be spent on these movies? Just how much do you think?
Too much.
Yeah,
That's all right.
That is the correct answer. But
I need a number.
I think probably on average, the reported budget will be about 250. It'll be much higher than that in reality, but I think that's a good median for reported.
Okay, Ariel thinks 300. I think 250 to 300 because these things will balloon fast. Already, we know that Disney cannot control the budgets on the movies, so they're going to sink a lot of money into these movies. Okay, and because they make these movies thinking they have to make $1 billion, and that's where you fall apart. Go for a low bar. Just put something out there, make a little bit of money. Make a little bit of money on a lot of things, and then you have profit. But no, they got to shoot for the moon every damn time. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to sink all this money into these Disney Star Wars projects. and they're not going to make any money. The High Republic is a failure. The $1 billion Hotel Star Cruiser failed. The park doesn't work. Nobody buys your merch. That's just Lucasfilm failing. Now let's look at the MCU. We just talked about it. The MCU is about to make a bunch of money on Deadpool Wolverine. But here comes the next round of MCU projects. Half of these are movies, half of these are television. Agatha, Daredevil, Ironheart. These are shows that will not make money on Disney Plus. It's not. Okay, let's look at the movies. Thunderbolts. Anybody give a shit about Thunderbolts?
No one.
No one. That's a movie. It's coming out next year. But what's coming out before that, of course, is we cannot forget Captain America, Black Falcon, on the Wings of Liberty. This thing cost essentially $400 million if you add in marketing. It needs over $1 billion to break even. The profits you just made this quarter will be offset next quarter, or not, well, the following quarter, because we're going into the fourth quarter right now. First quarter next year, the losses on Captain America, Brave New World, on the top of Black Man Wings, will lose all the money. Deadpool will remain all the money. This will lose all the money. Is there any doubt? I mean, I was having a conversation last night with some people that let's wait and see. Maybe there is no, I don't think there's any maybe with this. Is there anything in this movie that works?
Nope.
No.
There's nothing here that works.
No.
Nothing.
Well, we have
zero things. Okay, let me be fair.
Okay.
Daredevil Born Again might actually be decent because of the individuals involved and forced everybody else out. Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox said, this is hot garbage and I will not be a part of it. And so they got rid of all those jokers. So there's a potential that the show can actually be good. However, is that going to put butts in seats? Is that going to raise Disney Plus ticket sales, subscriptions?
No.
None. No. Zero. Not at all. The rest of this stuff, just do tax write-offs. Just screw it. Agatha all along, what are we doing? What are we doing?
It's a song, Dre. It was the song.
No one watched that show. We don't know what the song is. We don't know.
But here's by saying this is money wasted right here.
Oh.
Money wasted, no return. Real money wasted, not going to be anything.
No return.
Nobody's going to go see this. And then we have Fantastic Four.
With a terrible title.
First Steps. That is just retarded. What are we, babies? Seriously. Now, people love 3/4 of them. They think the chick is hot and she'll be fine. The other dude's going to be in CGI thing, practical effects, whatever.
Might be okay.
And we don't know that they could still make Johnny Storm flaming on. They could still do that. It could still happen.
The actor's talented, so there's potential with him. But yeah, 3 out of 4, I think, is fair.
But then
you got that pretty white lady to play Sue Storm, though.
Yeah, I mean, people think she's sexy, and people like her. I don't know her from like my ear, but
I've seen her in a few things.
I'll take everybody's word for it. Yeah,
that's her skill set.
Ariel, that's the little black genius girl replacement for Iron Man.
And that's the problem. That Ariel, you just hit the nail right on the head. No one knows who that is at all, and they're going to get their own show. Williams. It's insanity.
But we saw her in Black Panther too.
Oh yeah. Everybody loved her in that.
In my personal opinion, I still think those numbers were inflated. I will go to my grave with that. Because everybody I talk to that are in that are normies or whatever did not go and see that movie. Only people that I know saw that movie are individuals that are in the comic community or people that review films. Everybody that was a normie that saw the original Black Panther did not see this. Now, there are a couple of black folks that went to go see it, of course, because I live in DC, Howard University, HBCU, woot woot. Yes, I get that. But no one knows who that character is. And everyone that I talk to is like, who is that dumb girl that was in there that thought she was Iron Man? That's always the question that I've been given. I'm like, oh, that's Ironheart. They said, who? And I'm said, exactly. What's the point? Wait.
Drake, question for you. You are the comic book expert on the panel, and I just want to know, is there a single other character with a worse origin story than Riri Williams? Because I know her origin story, it is awful. There's no one
she's
worse?
number one. She's number one on the list. Please victimize me. Excuse me?
Out of spite.
It's basically begging to be victimized when someone says, I guess you can't be Tony Stark. That's
I'll prove you wrong. But no, let me tell you how stupid that is, Chad. This is someone that has already said, I'm a genius level intellect, girl boss for life. And she was being complimented throughout the entire issue about how amazing she was. And then she said, tell me that I suck because I need to be oppressed so that I can prove you wrong.
He's not lying.
What
That's exactly what it is.
Who writes that? Who writes someone that's a genius and that everybody is over there sucking her toes, and then you got to come over here and then say something ridiculous like, "Hey, victimize me, daddy." Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then somebody in the editor's room said, "That's it." Like, what are we doing? And now I wonder why she's one of the most least popular characters ever put into the American stage. This is why.
No
Garbage.
takers.
Nothing to relate to.
No takers. 1 hour, 45 minutes. No takers. Remind me. 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, I got one for you, Adam. 1 hour, 12 minutes, 25.
Okay. I need people to send me timestamps so I can make some clips. Anyway, go ahead, Jake. You were saying.
Oh, I was just going to say, in the comic book, I don't know if you remember the exact wording. Did the teacher say you can't be Tony Stark or can't be Iron Man?
You can't. I believe it's Tony Stark.
That makes so much less sense because, she becomes, Ironheart, which is, female Iron Man, whatnot. But she can't become Tony Stark because that's not becoming Iron Man doesn't mean you become Tony Stark.
Tony Stark
so she
has
still
a penis
failed
and he's white.
at this. Yeah, she still failed at becoming Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so
moronic.
You got all that nonsense to answer Eric's question, but then Fantastic Four. Now, notice these release dates. Everything, this is all going to be released. We don't have a release date for Ironheart. That's been on the shelf for 2 years, mind you. 2 years. They've been sitting on that. This comes out in February. I think this comes out in April. I think Thunderbolts is April. And then this comes out next summer. Okay?
Great.
Here's the question now. And this, I'm bring it back to what we're talking about. Robert Downey Jr. We were able to get fresh on this last week. Robert Downey Jr. is Victor Von Doom. It is official. He's a Victor Von Doom. But that doesn't mean he's not a Tony Stark variant who just got adopted by the Von Dooms who's named Victor. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Victor Von Doom. Listen, Dr. Doom, real Dr. Doom. That is a true threat. He is one of the greatest villains of all time. But Dre, he requires buildup.
Yes, he does.
Dre, how many years were phases 1 through 3?
That was 10 years.
Yes, that is 10 years of movies building up Thanos. One little step at a time. The closer you get to phase 3, the more you saw him on screen. The more he was referenced. The Infinity Stones, all this stuff. It all came together. 10 years, 20 movies to build to your big threat. How many movies do we have between now and Doomsday in the summer of 26? And you notice there's one movie not on here because it ain't gonna happen. Blade ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, we can safely put that in the Disney vault. That's not coming.
But to answer your question, we got 3 movies, and I don't think any of them are going to set him up. We might get one end credit scene.
They're gonna stup him into Fantastic Four. They're going to somehow. Yeah. Because they're starting filming next week. Filming starts next week, and now that we know RDA is out there, they're gonna get him in there. But it's gonna
he gonna be like the secret behind Galactus or some shit?
How Galactus is a natural disaster. He bows to no one. He serves a purpose in the universe.
Maybe he's making Earth hallucinate Galactus existing.
So this is the only thing I can assume at this point, because once again, like I mentioned some time ago, I have a rational brain. These people do not, but I do. Only thing I can reference is that There's going to be end credit scene in Black Falcon somewhere at the end,
I've said as much.
or
There's gonna
something,
be- yeah. 'Cause-
something to that nature of Doom's behind it all, or something.
Yeah.
And then there might be a reference to him in Thunderbolts of Latveria or something to that nation. Something. There's going to be mentions. And then Fantastic Four, he'll be in 2 post-credit scenes or something, in credit scene or something to that nature. That's the only thing I can assume, because 2 of these films are already been shot.
Well,
So-
Captain America,
Shot
Captain
a while
America
ago.
Yeah.
4 times. Captain
Yeah.
America was shot 4 times. It's 4 freaking movies. You're
The
gonna
only
see,
one that's not been shot is Fantastic Four.
and that starts
That's
this week.
it.
So there's plenty of time to have RDJ eat a hamburger and get in there and be Doctor Doom. Because remember, this is
That
vegan.
man
Robert
needs to
Downey
eat. I'm
Jr.
worried about him.
He needs to eat a sandwich with a lot of meat.
Yeah.
But now I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
Mm.
surprised if they don't even need, because this deal was probably signed, I would say, a month or 2 ago. This was inked probably a month or 2 ago, because it was only a couple weeks ago that the rumors of the Russos coming back, which means it was done already. Once the
I
leaks were
agree.
out, it was done. They still have enough time to push something into Brave New World, because that's still got 7 months to release. They could still get it, but it doesn't have to be him. It could be anybody in a
Someone
CGI
in a
mask
mask, yeah.
and a voiceover. RDJ just has to
That's
do a
true.
voiceover, so they could still shtup in a Doom cameo in Brave New World, which I said a week ago that's probably going to happen. It's likely to happen. Problem is, Fantastic Four is an alternate reality. It's a multiverse.
Mhm.
It's a period piece. They're gonna have to work some stupid, illogical magic. But Jed, you're absolutely right. 3 movies, but for Doomsday. No build-up. No nothing. And we talked about this last week. Who are the Avengers? Where are the Avengers?
No one.
We don't need to. We've been repeating our segment from last week, so we're not going to do it. We've already established there are no Avengers right now, and what you have is like the D-list choices. So you're going to get an Avengers Doomsday with no Avengers team build up, all so that you can somehow get the Fantastic Four in there, get the remnants of Phase 4 into 5 in there. And we'll come back to the Phase thing in a second as I bridge out to the end of this conversation. It's a repeat, and I think I said this last week, it's a repeat of Infinity War to Endgame. Bad guy's going to win, and then it's going to be cleaning up the mess in the next movie, which will be 2010's Secret Wars, where somehow they'll figure out some way to make him God Doom, and he'll have the multiverse planet, and then things will happen.
So yeah, Secret Wars, from what I understand, it does condense all the heroes into one planet, right? Do you think
Yes.
they'll go in a
Yes.
Crisis on Infinite Earths route and
Yes.
use that as an event to iron out the
Yes.
multiverse?
That's what they did.
timeline?
That's what they did in the comics. That was
Mhm.
that was Marvel's excuse to get
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
in there.
literally, so they
clean
can,
up the timeline.
because things were so chaotic in Marvel that they had to. shrink
That's how they
things down.
folded Ultimate Universe into the.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right?
It was
That's
all to get Miles Morales and 616.
Which was really weird because he's the only one that made it. That's so ridiculous.
Is that just the second Secret Wars, or did the first Secret Wars do the
No,
same
no.
thing?
No.
All right,
No,
all right,
this is
Dre,
the second
explain
one.
for Secret Wars. Explain for Secret Wars.
It was the second Secret Wars that folded in Miles Morales and all that stuff,
Mhm.
because that was in, I want to say 2008.
20. No, it was 11.
Yeah.
It was 11.
11. Thank you.
was
Thank you. Yeah, 2011. And they folded that in because Ultimate Universe essentially was pretty much done with, and the X-Men didn't need angst anymore, and Spider-Man got really weird. So they just used that to fold in with what was that? Uncanny X-Men became canon again. Amazing Spider-Man existed once again because that was 616, so that they maintained that. Then grabbed Miles Morales to throw him in there because Black Mexican, whatever. And they maintained, dang it, I'm forgetting who they maintained. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That's how they were able to try to streamline the comic series.
It
again.
was trash.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I didn't like it one bit. And so when I'm looking at this, and there's one thing that I was thinking about the other night, was how succinct the first 3 phases were, because we were still able to know exactly who our protagonists were. You had character-driven stories, and then it culminated with an Avengers movie every single time. So we're able to understand who our heroes are as we're continuing this story. As Adam has eloquently put, and he said last week, who are our Avengers? I don't know at all. I have no clue. Except I'm going to assume that Black Captain Falcon is going to be one of them because he actually is an Avenger.
And
I have
maybe
no clue what's
Spider-Man.
going on.
Who are the big three?
There are no big three.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Thor might be in it still.
Thor's off fostering kids someplace.
I mean, who is going to be our heroes that we cheer for?
Put a pin in that for a second because you realize everything all over the place. As we just said, so who are the Avengers? What's the story of this? Because now realize this is why I'm saying Disney is doomed.
Oh yeah,
because we've we've listed off the fact that Pixar had a one and done with Inside Out 2. Disney Star Wars is the mess, and here we are. We got the parks which aren't making money, the hotels aren't making money, but now here's the MCU. They're one thing that they're gonna squeeze drive every bit, and Deadpool Wolverine has resurrected the thought of, hey, the MCU is working. No, it isn't, because here we are. This is why right here it's not working.
Yep.
Dre brings up the point. Who is what? Everything. Story, cohesive storytelling, connecting. In the past week and a half, 2 weeks even, Phase 4 has essentially been erased. It never happened.
Pretty much.
There's no Eternals 2. There's no more Black Panther. I mean, last night we were trying to list what was before. We forgot where one left off and the other began. We know that Ant-Man and Quantumania, which was supposed to take us to the Kangs, that
was the start of Phase 5.
Yeah,
that was Phase 5.
Yeah.
Quantumania.
But so you realize what's going on here. They have completely erased the events and the so-called heroes that they created in Phase 4. They wasted.
Who's asking for Shang-Chi 2?
Nobody. Well,
Black Widow 2 is basically the Thunderbolts, I guess, because Florence Pugh's been reported to be the main character of that.
Pew, pew.
And nobody saw that movie.
Every time. Nobody. Well, some people did for reviews.
Yeah, see, reviewers' views don't count, Adam.
I know.
It don't count.
But
where are the normies coming to flood the?
They're not, and that's the problem here. So it's these movies all right here. I'm pointing my screen. You can't see me. The Fantastic Four will be a curiosity, but it will not do well because Pedro Pascal is not Reed Richards.
Yikes.
It will live and die by him, and he's not that good an actor, and he doesn't have the ability to do it because you need to have a Reed Richards that can stand up to
with some gravitas. He'd need to be this central character, the new Iron Man, like the one character. That has to be Reed Richards. If you're going to get one of the Fantastic Four right, you have to get Reed Richards right. That's the one that got the most wrong, though.
Can you imagine? Let's say RDJ knocks it out of the park as Doom, which he probably can. He'll probably put on a good performance. He's Robert Downey Jr. He's good at this shit. But you're going to put him and Pedro in a scene with just the two of them? I mean, Reed Richards is supposed to be able to go toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye, nose-to-nose with Victor and look him in the eye and say, I'm going to stop you because I'm Mr. Fantastic. That's what I do. Pedro, he has, like Jet said, no gravitas. He's got no presence. He is wallpaper in the room. You walk by him and you ignore him. He's not. He may be internet daddy for some people, but they're weirdos. But that's the problem here. You've got no draw. You got no way to actually produce a good conflict because you haven't set it up. And it's doomed just because it's not just doomed because of the bad storytelling. They don't have enough to set up any of this. They're doomed because they're spending too much money. We learned this week for both these movies, Robert Downey Jr. is getting $80 million for these two
combined, or
I believe it's combined.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was because he was getting like 60 for.
But it's still $40 million for each, on top of the Russos getting about, I believe, somewhere like 50-60 million for each. So when you take the payment for Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers alone for each of these movies, you're already almost at $100 million.
Oh, it's easily.
And we haven't even started paying the ensemble cast you now have to bring in to make an Avengers movie.
And all the other costs, these might be $500 million budgets.
Thank you. This is why I'm saying let's look at the long game here, the big picture. They are about to spend in the next 2 years probably $1 billion or more on these two movies.
Each. With marketing.
They're going to need $2 billion to break even. They're going to need Avatar numbers to break even on these movies. Now, if this was 10 years ago, if this was 7 years ago, you could people are going to show up for Avengers movies. We agreed last week, I believe, that out of curiosity, people will show up to Doomsday. They're going to show up.
Oh yeah. They'll show up. It's RDJ coming back.
Though.
The normies are going to be, but are they? Is it going to? If it needs $1 billion or more to break even, does it make money? The people will say grossed $1 billion, but did it make any money? No. And this is their plan for the next 3 or 4 years. You add in the upcoming failures of Mandalorian and Grogu. You add in the Rey movie. And remember, there's other Disney property movies. Moana live action. Lilo and Stitch live action. Other Toy Story 5. Frozen 3. Are we looking at $1 billion movies for each of these? No! None of these movies are going to make money. The parks shouldn't fail. Jed can confirm this. Jay said, Drunk 3PO said this week, Epic Universe might open 6 months early. Rumors have it they might open 6 months early and take another large chunk of the pie at the theme parks. Disney World is falling apart. They can't keep their rides going. It's a mess. It's disgusting there. Nobody's paying money for this shit. Where's the money to support the gargantuan monster that is Disney? Does anybody have an answer for that in the next 3 to 4 years when all this stuff's going to be happening? Anybody? Nothing. No. There's no profit coming in. Disney is doomed. And you know why they're doomed. Here's the final part of this. Why I say they're likely doomed. While it's never going to completely fall apart, but it's going to suffer some massive losses because what happened back in April? The Nelson Peltz attempted takeover. And here's where I want your opinions on this now, what I'm going to say. Nelson Peltz's attempted takeover, I believe now that was a dress rehearsal. I've convinced myself in the past 48 hours that Nelson Peltz's proxy war with just going after a single seat with just Ike Perlmutter and a couple things, that was a dress rehearsal to see what they could do in that short amount of time and how Disney would respond. What would Bob Iger do to fend it off? Because let's be honest, it was kind of a pretty weak attempt in April.
Yeah.
It was pretty weak. Just
Very
Nelson Peltz. Underwhelming, yeah. And because we knew Disney would mount the defense. We thought something might happen. It was for one seat, just one seat, which doesn't really amount to a hill of beans. A couple weeks ago, we talked about this. Ike Perlmutter sold off $3 billion worth of stock, and it tanked the stock right away as soon as everybody found out. Dropped it to under 190, floated 80 million. I don't know what the stock is right now. At the moment, it doesn't matter. He then says, I will buy back in at $65 a share if it gets that low. To me, I've been thinking about this, and it kind of keyed in last night when we were arguing post-Saturday about stuff, and it keyed into me. Perlmutter is going to buy back in. Peltz is a vindictive asshole. He's going to want back in. And who else do you think, with now the time and energy and his friends now also upset? What special King of the Trolls will likely actually not just be cheerleading, trolling on the sidelines? Who do you think's legitimately going to get in? Not to actually accomplish anything, just to be a dick and a troll and F with Iger.
You think Elon Musk is actually going to buy up those shares?
That'd
be funny.
Hilarious.
He hates Bob Iger.
Mhm.
He hates what he tried to do to X Twitter when he was trying to get it to be adjusted, or when it was just the opening days, boycott X Twitter, all that kind of stuff. But I think with legitimate, because Elon getting involved, he got involved in a joking way too late. There was no time for him to take part in buying shares, because you have to do this months in advance.
Yeah.
You can't just do it a month before that. You have to do it months in advance. I believe in the next couple of years, one loss after one financial movie disaster, one theme park financial loss after another, all this shit's going to keep piling up. The stock's going to drop. Perlmutter's going to buy back in. Peltz is going to buy back in, because Peltz sold all his shares too. He's going to, and Elon will buy in. And then we're going to see the real move to get 2 or more seats on the board. Disney is doomed.
It's entirely possible. I'm putting nothing past Elon at this point. This man is on a freaking crusade against woke ideology and everything else. So I would not put that past him. And he actually has the capital to do it. So I can actually see that actually happening. Now, I don't know. Let's just say it's true. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, next year, April this next year.
I'm putting it out there right now. I'm putting it out there now so that we can go back. We can go back to August 4th, 2024 roundtable and say, damn, Adam got this one.
Yeah. So let's just say that it happens exactly like that. What is going to be the initial impact, other than vitriol from the crazy leftists and some movies that are definitely going to bomb at that juncture? I think we'll probably have to look at long-term profitability, which will probably be another 4 or 5 years, maybe, because of how damaged the brand is.
It's so damaged. What would happen then if they get 3 seats on the board? I believe there are 12 seats on the board, maybe 10.
Usually it's 12, and then I think a chairman of board. So I know it's usually an odd number. No, it's usually an odd number.
Yeah.
So it's probably 12 and then 13.
Yeah. So that's a section of it. That's enough to make changes and force changes. Because then if you are the bullies in the room, you're, to use the poker term, you're chip bullies, then you're going to force shit. You can put your CEO forward. You can put your division's heads forward. You can try and get your people in place and then keep pushing other people off the board, because it starts a domino effect. What it would do would be it would doom the Disney of now, because it would start, as Dre just pointed out, it would start a restructuring that would take years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would take years, and in those years, even before that, they would sell Lucasfilm, because you got guys who are businessmen coming and saying, "What's not making money? Oh, Lucasfilm's not making money. Oh, can we salvage the brand of Star Wars? No, we can't. There is too much baggage. Can we salvage Indiana Jones? No, Harrison Ford is 95. We can't do it again. Can we salvage Willow? No, we destroyed that. Do we have any other properties in Lucasfilm? Not really.
Red Tail.
I don't even know what that is. So
it was a movie George Lucas did years ago.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm old.
If the brand isn't functioning, you sell it if it's not making money, and you put everything you were sinking into it into something else. They will never sell Marvel. They won't. The MCU may die, but they would leave it dead and just start anew. They can't. I don't think they would sell Pixar. They'd have, but yeah, I could see them restructuring that.
They might sell partial control, kind of like how Hulu has been parsed themselves out to a lot of people for a few years. They might do competitive control over something like Pixar.
Yeah, but that's their media divisions. Okay, Disney Plus will never make money. It never will. The streaming wars are over. and it lost.
Even when they merge Hulu and Disney, which they're getting close to do, you actually, I just found this out. There's no longer such a thing as a Hulu account. It is
Really?
a My Disney account with a Hulu subscription attached to it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, but
And
even that streaming service won't make money.
Yeah, and ESPN doesn't make the money anymore either.
I was just about to say that. I was saying no cut first. ESPN has got to go. You cannot survive.
It's a dead brand.
I said this a couple years ago now. The ESPN subsidized the WNBA, which has lost tens of millions of dollars per year for 25 consecutive years.
I can hear the vitriol. I hear the venom.
It angers me. It deeply angers me. I love sports. I'm a big sports guy. I hate the WNBA. There is no sports league I hate more than WNBA because, like, look, okay, God dang it, tangent. So, growing up, I used to go to the MCI Center. For those that remember the MCI Center, Adam knows. Oh, bastard. You know, it's no MCI Center. It has now been changed to a bunch of different times. I think it's Capital One Arena, whatever it is now. I used to go and watch Bullets games. Oh, my God, I'm old.
Bullets.
Wizards.
The Bullets.
Wizards game. Wizards.
The Bullets.
God,
hey, they've never had that team's never had a good name. It's never had a good
name.
Oh
my God, it's been so bad. So we used to go see Wizards games, and then after the Wizards game, then like years later, that we got the Washington Mystics. When I tell you that no one went to go to these games, I mean no one, not even the psychopaths that just want to see women run around, because these women look like me. So therefore, they're not interested in it. These broads went and complained because their league was tanking in front of everyone. They then complained to the NBA and ESPN and then forced all the women diversity stuff in order to maintain their league. Their league has never made a single dime. They can't even sell hot dogs. All right. They can't do anything. Disney is now fitting that bill. Okay. Every time them girls go out to play, Bobby Iger is losing money. Every single bucket they make, they are losing tens of millions. ESPN has got to go. As a simple businessman, you'd be like, what is draining us so dry that we are getting absolutely guaranteed no return, not even if we tried? ESPN.
Yeah.
Get it out the door.
It's no different than Lucasfilm. It doesn't make money because nobody cares about ESPN anymore. This isn't a decade ago where you leave SportsCenter on all freaking day as your background partner. Yep. Or I'm waiting for that 5 o'clock spot. I'm ready to watch Around the Horn. I'm ready to watch whatever, like Will Bond and Kornheiser back then. I forget the freaking show what it was called anymore. You guys haven't watched it in forever. That was my 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I'm there. Yeah. I stomach Jim goddamn Rome for 30 minutes before we get in there. I stomach it.
Pardon the interruption.
Yeah, PTI, yeah. I stomach it to get to Around the Horn and PTI because it was fun. It was entertaining. Everybody's yelling at each other. I stomached it all. No more.
Nope.
No one's watching that shit anymore. No one cares. ESPN is a drain. Lucasfilm is a drain. And you know, people brought it up, mentioning it. There are a lot of lawsuits going on too.
Oh,
Gina Carano one, just the most prominent one, which will now go to Discovery. It's going to be a year. I mean, it's going to be a year. We're not going to hear anything for a long time, but Discovery is going to happen. And normally you'd worry in a Discovery phase when you're dealing with Disney because it's Disney. They got the money. They got the lawyers. Elon has more money and more lawyers. So they're not going to get drowned in Discovery. This isn't some 2-person firm that'll have 3 rooms filled with boxes, which would be burying information they would need for the trial. No, this is Elon Musk. Has probably the most expensive lawyers in the world who have a bunch of aides and paralegals who will sift through this shit by the tens and thousands. They'll find that shit. They'll find it all. They'll find the emails. They'll find the recordings. They'll find everything that Disney doesn't want them to find. And then we're going to know about it, and we're going to make videos about it. It's going to be glorious. Because I personally, of course, I would have no way of knowing the mind of Gina Carano. This isn't about money. It's about respect. It's about her good name. So I don't think she's going to settle. I think this goes to trial. I think it goes to trial next year. I do. So I look forward to that. I look forward to that content stream that we're going to get out of this. Hell, dude, if there are freaking cameras in that courtroom, I am live. I am watching that shit. I will pseudo law tube that shit. I will do it. I will grip the hell out of that. I will do it. Well, I'll probably have to partner with Dermy in some shit because he wants to do it too. But shit, I'll fucking do it. We'll have multi-stream. We'll do the hell out of that. It'll happen.
Sounds fun.
It'll be fun.
That does sound like insanity.
It would be great, dude. It'll be great. That will be YouTube. That will be YouTube. So, but you understand? Do you see anything but doom for Disney in the next 5 years? This was their bright spot this summer, and it's over. In a month, it'll be over. Once Agatha hits D+, oof, gonna turn hard and fast. And then next year begin. And I how could I almost forget this? Remember, in February as well, or maybe it's March. Maybe it's March. I could be wrong. I think it's March. Let us not forget Rachel Zegler's live-action Snow White.
Oh no!
I had forgotten about that.
Oh,
thank you.
No.
Oh, Dermy's Queen. Dermy's Queen will be getting on. Netflix just low-key dropped a fairy tale animation with her voice acting in it. Low-key dropped that. Nobody's talking about it because that chick she's radioactive. She's radioactive. And it's going to be glorious. There's nothing but destruction ahead for Disney. That's why they're doomed. I have not heard an argument to refute what I've said. I'm simply looking at the facts and the logic we have in front of us. And we'll be here for it. We'll be here for it. Light that bonfire. Let's dance. Let's sing. Let's drink and be merry. Because I'm not watching the demise of the Disney I love and grew up with. This is a horrible monster that is not the thing that I cared about in my childhood. I will watch this thing burn to the ground, and I won't care. I will laugh. I will point, and I will harvest the tears of the stands to nourish what will grow in its place. That's what I'll do, because they're going to cry. And that's why they're all melting down these days, because it's all coming apart and they can't deal with it. They cannot cope with it. And I love it. All right. I think that's it. I got nothing else unless you guys got some. No? All right. Let's end it. All right. Let's go around the horn, Sarah farewells, and enjoy the rest of our Sunday. Jed, what you got this week?
Well, just all regularly scheduled live streams at Hollywood Scholar on YouTube and Kick. Adam will be talking about Saturday Night Drive-In in a little bit, but I did want to briefly mention some news from an interview that came out today just to laugh at it. We're at the point where actors are proud of themselves for doing their basic job. I don't know if you guys saw Chris Evans' interview from today or yesterday.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he's very proud of this. I love his portrayal of Captain America or whatnot, but he's never come across as an intelligent person to me. And it seems that's true, because when talking about Johnny Storm's character in Deadpool and Wolverine, he bragged about how much he loved the end credit scene monologue, that he memorized it. He memorized a monologue. Isn't that so impressive? Isn't he so invested in this character in this portrayal that he did the basic thing? Like, that's step one of acting, is memorizing your lines. But yeah, he's very proud of the fact that he memorized his lines for Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I was watching TMNT last night, the movie, the Turtles CJ movie, which is pretty good. It's a good movie, good Turtles movie. He was Leonardo in that. He voiced Leonardo in that. I didn't know that. A lot of voices in that movie I was unaware of. So wow, okay. But and that was a good movie, but he's just a voice actor. That was before Captain America. So
sure was. That was 07, wasn't it?
07, 08, I think. Yeah.
07,
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I honestly, having watched it last night, man, they should have kept going with that Turtles timeline. That was a good little Turtles timeline there. It had potential. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. Oh no, he wasn't Leonardo. He was Casey Jones. He was Casey Jones in that. Sorry, he was Casey Jones. But it had all the right pieces, and it could have gone forward. And the CGI animation wasn't god awful dog shit ugly. It was actually nice. The girls had their lady bits. They looked feminine. I mean, April looked like a woman, and the foot chick looked like a woman, all sexy with the titties out. I mean, they were ladies. They were ladies. So I respected. They tried to do something there, but then they made more dog shit on Nickelodeon. Look where we are now. Now we got Seth Rogen Turtles. More of that shit coming out.
Oh,
Thanks.
God.
Thanks. Great. Anyway, Dre, what's your week look like?
So this week, we'll see what comes down the pipeline on the Brutal Plan Comics YouTube channel on Monday and Fridays. So we'll be dropping whatever news is going down. And this Thursday, I'll have another Pokemon battle on my The Brute Plays YouTube channel. That should be actually a really good one. It kind of annoyed me, but it was great. It was another good fun battle. So follow me on Twitter, X, whatever, TheBrute00, and on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, Dragon Lady.
I won't be here next Sunday, so I'm still trying to recover from the long road back yesterday. So yeah.
All right. Well, then you take it easy. And as for myself, tomorrow night, Mellow Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, apparently the season finale of House of the Dragon Season 2. I'm glad to be done with that. You'll get my rambling, ranting thoughts tomorrow afternoon, evening. Rest of the week, we'll see what happens. Because, guys, guess what's happening next week? D23.
Wow.
They've already announced a bunch of Star Wars stuff. It looks pathetic. Gonna get the MCU list. So we're gonna talk D23 next week, most likely. We'll probably have a lot of fun little news to show you how they are going to fail. It's gonna be a disaster. Other than that, I don't know what the rest of the week holds. We'll have to see what the internet will provide myself and many others for stories and interesting things. Until then, though, we got Ballbusters, 11 p.m. Eastern, with our guest Fear the Beardo, where we're going to be having a read-off between Dermy and Beardo.
Oh boy,
it's going to be a read-off. So I'm simply suggesting it. I'm going to leave it to the chat because they're the ones who are best at tormenting Beardo and Dermy when it comes to super chats and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave it to them. But there will be a read-off. At least I'll make sure there is. I'll keep talking about it. So that's that. And then Jed, what are we watching next week for driving?
Well, this week for driving, we're going back to the 80s with the film that pretty much taught young children the idea of MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction. It's a great film, absolutely a classic. Matthew Broderick's 1983 film, War Games.
Would you like to play a game? Yeah, so that we should have a really good discussion on that one. And then Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll be right back here for more roundtable goodness. Thank you to everybody who's here today. Chat, we love you as always. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, we don't get to do this. So thank you for your fun. We hope you had a good time. Show the love. Hit those like buttons. Subscribe to the channels. Tell everybody we're here. And we will see you guys next week. Until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be. Whew.